Hey guys, how are you doing? You're able to hear me? Just let me know over the chat box, guys, whether you are able to hear me or not. Yes. So Suparna, it's clear. The voice is clear. Yeah. Okay. So I'm getting to see Avi, Moise, Abhishek, Deep Kapashi, Manish, and Admin. Admin, I'm not sure what's your name. If you can change the name, that would be great, right? And so, guys, any question in context of those previous webinars that you have attended? Any thoughts? Any? I hope you are reflecting back on what we are discussing, right? So it's very important that मतलब वेबिनार सुन के फिर सो जाओ खा पी के, लेकिन थोड़ा बाद में थोड़ा उसको रिफ्रेश करो next day maybe, so that whatever has been discussed, it gets registered. एक बार भी तब उसके बाद नहीं सोचेंगे तो वो register नहीं होता है, right? So I hope you are doing it, and so just let me know if you have any questions on those previous webinars that we're attending, and whether it has helped you in anything at this point of time. Though it's a very short period of time, but if you're working in something, some areas where what you have learned as you have applied somewhere, I'd be happy to hear if you've really applied the concepts that's been discussed, right? तो वैसे कुछ हुआ हो तो बोलो. And guys, whoever is joining, just a piece of request: if it's not a major challenge for you, if you can just switch on the video so that I can see you, and we can have a, like, it makes sense for me to speak to some human, otherwise it's very difficult to speak on a laptop camera, so if you're on the other side, you'll appreciate what I'm trying to say. And I see my son also switching off the. That's the only remark that comes from the school, that he doesn't switch on the camera. What to do? Like, the new generation is up. So, so guys, which part of India you are logging in from? Just let me know. I'm a bit apprehensive how many people is going to join today, because I'm not sure how many people are really interested in the management consulting per se. And let's see. So who is interested out of you guys? Who is interested to be into management consulting? Avi. So it's Avi only. No one else is interested in management consulting. Hemant, okay. Sarika, okay. So guys, it's a very interesting domain, and you get to do a lot of stuff, and where you can see that you are really making a considerable, I should say, like, your actions, you are getting to see is having an influence in terms of how, um, uh, for the business that you are doing, so a major influence in terms of how it's affecting the business, so that is something which I really like about this world of consulting, is that you get to see whatever uh, set of things you are placing across, how it is really reflecting. I've heard that management concerns can later switch to IV. Absolutely, Avi. So that's what I am trying to say, and that is precisely the reason as to why I am sharing all this to you, so that you get a mental map that मतलब कोई भी काम करो ये डोमेन में 60-70% काम सेम होता है, ये समझ लो। और 60-70% अगर एक बार तुमको ग्रिप में आ गया ना, देन इट गेट्स वेरी इजी टू flow around different areas and domains and nature of work. So, and the more exposure you get, like I am one of those who is fortunate enough to have worked in banking, commercial banking, I've worked in management consulting and investment banking. So I've been fortunate. ऐसा chance नहीं मिलता. I've been into treasury. I've worked in product management में बहुत कुछ अलग-अलग chance मुझे भगवान के um, ये से by God's grace I've got those opportunities. I'm not saying that everyone would be getting it so easily. It was not easy for me. I really took what to say. I really took those measures and steps and persuade people to get into those areas. But yeah, I was hungry. I was hungry to learn. I was hungry to execute. And that hunger was very well communicated to the person on the other side. And that's why they have given me those opportunities. So one opportunity has led to the other set of opportunities. And that's how everything rolled. So but then when I got into those all those spaces, that's how I got to understand कि भाई ये तो कुछ अलग नहीं है, मतलब they're all overlaying on one top of the other, right? And that is the reason as to why I am able to place across these things to you, and I want you guys to understand and appreciate that fact. And और कितना कुछ करने का है, मतलब कुछ भी नहीं हुआ इंडिया में, आदमी नौकरी ढूंढता है, और आई एम टेलिंग यू नथिंग हैज हैपेंड इन इंडिया. Just compare India to any of the Western world, right? So there's loads of things to do. Now, who is going to do that? And for that, you require people. But people को तो वो skills चाहिए, right? Without the skills, the person won't be able to execute. So requirement is huge, and there's a lot of opportunities. The only thing is you need to know what needs to be known. And then once you know that, then you can start executing in those directions. So interested, but mainly interested in IB, Suparna. Okay. Hi, Kavita. How are you doing? So guys, just let me know which part of India you are logging in from. Just let me know on the chat box where you are joining from. Hi, Dolly. How are you? Sumit from Orissa. Kavita Ahmedabad, Brijesh Mumbai, Moise Mumbai, Sarika Delhi, Pavan Bangalore, Nalish Telangana, Suparna Kolkata, Priyanka Nalish Hyderabad, Kriti from Australia, Melbourne. Okay, good. Um, you know, yeah, hi. Sonia from Bangalore, Akhilesh from Varanasi. Okay, good. So people from, so one person is from outside India also today joining. So guys, good to see. And so what I'm going to discuss today, wherever you are across the globe, you can make use of this stuff. And I have made a very tall claim, if you have seen the post, that this is going to be the first time what I'm going to share is something is going to be very unique. And your what? Don't say all this, Dolly. So let's just wait for a few minutes for others to join. Aman from Dhanbad. Okay, so Aman, I have been associated with a number of steel projects in and around Dhanbad, so I've traveled a lot at that site. Dhanbad is, yeah, and oh, Pashupati, you are also there. Good to see you. So guys, uh, who is joining for the first time today? Just press A in the chat box if you are joining for the first time today. Okay, Vijesh, Hemant, Kriti, okay, Sonia, okay, Akhilesh, Apurva, Sumit Sahu, okay. Abhishek, I won't be sharing, though I'm recording it, but I don't intend to share the recording. As I keep on saying, the only reason is that people won't then join, then there won't be any interaction. Otherwise, I could have just created videos and could have placed it in YouTube, right? The objective is to discuss few things and this is your question. So that's how it builds on. So that objective gets defined. Shubham. Okay, good, good. So, guys, so 3 minutes past 9. So, let's start, guys. So, who is seriously interested to be into management consulting? Just press B in the chat box, guys. If you're seriously looking forward to make a career uh, into investment banking, sorry, into management consulting, right? Hardcore management consulting, if you want to make a career into. Okay, so I see quite a number of you really interested. Good, good. Good to see, guys. Know much about it, so want to learn. Absolutely, absolutely, Dolly. Right. Great, guys. So first of all, a warm welcome to you to this webinar today. Another Friday evening. I understand you guys have many things to do on a Friday eve, and the fact that you are joining this webinar is, I totally respect that. Your time and your sincerity and being serious about your career. So I can only say, and that what I'm going to share is something that should really make a hell lot of difference to your career if you are really getting the message loud and clear, right? So let's get into it. But before that, guys, let me understand. As per you, what is management consulting? So if you can just scribble a few words in the chat box and make me understand as to what, as per you, what is management consulting in the first place? Solving problems, okay. Someone says solving problems. Specific cost saving issues of project implementation, okay. Solving problem and scaling profitable business. Kavita, who helps in business plan, providing consultants on business strategies, find solution for a business and making strategy for business, giving a professional service for management related issues, providing a direction and execution of plans and policies to help other businesses grow and resolve their complex issues, helping organization to improve their operations, helping organization to improve their performance. Good, guys, good set of answers. And really thanks to those guys who are taking the effort to respond. Dolly supporting to improve, okay, specialist in something, okay, improve the performance of organizations, okay, okay, good, good, guys. So let me deep analysis based on that solve the problem, okay, good. So guys, let me make you understand as per me what is guiding management. That's what Saurabh says. So as per me, what falls under the broader gamut of management consulting, right? So I'm discussing today with the perspective that you understand what would be the type of interaction that you are going to have with an interviewer in the context of when a person is going to recruit someone as a management consultant, right? So obviously there would be loads of questions around, but I'm not going to touch upon all the things, but then the major focus is in context of the management consultant piece, where they would like to understand whether you have that flavor in you. That is what I would like to discuss today, right? So guys, uh, now to understand and appreciate what the person who is going to be the recruiter is going to really be eager to know about you, right? uh, would be from the perspective that they would be interested of the fact that tomorrow when they're going to send you across any company as a management consultant, so you would be able to obviously try to address specific issues of that particular company, right? So which many of you have very clearly stated, there are different, so it may be in accordance to improvement of a few things, or something where you are trying to scale something, right? So there are different objective with which person is going to be means interviewing you, right? And try to assess your way of looking at things in solving problems. And someone said very correctly, it's all about solving issues, right? So which are those major issues which one gets to see, right? So and um, generally the set of questions that comes up are in context of which broader aspects. So those are around profitability of a company. So how you as a consultant may help the company to increase their profitability. That may be in context of cost reduction, so how you can help them reduce the cost. It may be in context of determining the pricing of their products and services, in context of market entry, so how you can help them enter new geographies and getting into new markets. um, the questions may be in context of how you may help the company to introduce their products in the market for the first time. It may be in context of growth strategies, how you can grow the company, how you can diversify the company in various areas. So these would be the set of aspects on which they would like to assess you, right? So these are the major, the broader heads. I'm saying there may be many more other than this, but if you are knowing about all these things, then it really the probability to get into this space gets very easy, right? So you need to understand कि भाई हम अगर consultant बने तो profitability, cost reduction, pricing, market entry, product launch, growth strategy, diversification, ये चीज में अगर मैं कैसे कंपनी को हेल्प कर सकता हूँ. So you need to have a structured thought process around that, right? So if we try to understand how management consulting is different from say investment banking, right? So let us understand that. So how do you think that both the things gets to be different from each other? So how do you think uh, how do you think that investment banking gets to be different from management consulting? Oh, Amit, in a new avatar today. Good to see. So how do you think this is going, like, where do you think they overlap, and where the things gets to be different between investment banking and management consulting? IB funding, managing how to develop business. Okay, IB is mainly capital related, and management consulting is project implementation. IB are more towards raising money. IB helps in different investments. Okay, so let me make it easier. Okay, few obviously the guys who have responded, you have responded correctly. So let me try to understand where do you think they match few of those skill sets, right? So where do you think they have the skill sets which is required for IB and management consulting, more or less certain things which remains the same, right? So business finance consultant, yeah. So just let me understand, if you can let me know, where do you think that which skills both needs to have? Weimar analysis, absolutely. uh, they need to assess and understand the business and do everything by themselves. That's where the skill sets match. Assess and understand the business. Yeah, Vijesh. Reading financials, okay, understanding business, absolutely. Critical analysis, yeah, understanding the business in depth. Analysis, good evening Rajat. The business plan, strategic management, right? So guys, again I will bring you to that framework जिसका जिक्र मैं बार बार करता हूँ. And those four words, EICP, ये हमेशा याद रखो. इकोनॉमिक एनालिसिस, तुम कंसल्टेंट भी बनोगे, सो यू नीड टू हैव अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि इकोनॉमी में क्या चल रहा है. दैट अंडरस्टैंडिंग गेट्स टू बी सिग्निफिकेंट. Obviously when you're doing some consulting activity for any company, obviously you need to have you should be able to analyze the industry that way, right? So your abilities to analyze the industry again gets to be important. Then comes your ability again to analyze companies. राइट. सो तुम सोल्यूशन तभी दोगे या कुछ उन लोग को सजेस्ट करोगे जब you have the ability to analyze the companies. So that company analysis may be from the business side, maybe from the financial point of view, right? So from all perspective. And if you are suggesting on specific project, to project level पे भी you need to be able to analyze stuff. तो so यहाँ पे क्या होता है, obviously ये वाला जो सेगमेंट मैंने बात किया, दिस रिमेन्स मोर और लेस द सेम. फिर उसके बाद आईबी में द ऑब्जेक्टिव, एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव हो जाता है टू हेल्प द कंपनी रेज फाइनेंस, और इन लोग का हो जाता है कि ये जो स्ट्रेटेजी बनाए तो उसको कैसे हेल्प करे एग्जीक्यूट करने में, राइट. सो दैट इज वेयर द लास्ट लीग द थिंग्स गेट्स टू बी डिफरेंट, बट ऊपर ऊपर जो चीज होता है वो मोर और लेस द द द बेसिक स्किल सेट्स रिमेन्स द सेम, राइट. Guys, is there any challenge you are facing in terms of the sound? Just let me know, guys. Ankit is saying frequent sound issues. No? Yeah. So, Ankit, please check at your end. EICP. So Sumit, whoever has joined my webinars earlier, they know about it. It is called EICP. So economic analysis, industry analysis, company analysis, and project analysis, right? So yeah. So तो ये वाला जो स्किल सेट है ना, ये तुम कंसल्टेंट बनो कि इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग प्रोफेशनल बनो, till such time you are someone in IB who is into working in the dealing part of it, trading desk, वो एकदम अलग हो जाता है. बट वो बंदे को भी इकोनॉमिक एनालिसिस, इंडस्ट्री के समझ, कंपनी के समझ, उसको भी रखना पड़ेगा. ऐसा नहीं कि that guy doesn't require that sort of a skill set, right? So I hope I am able to give you some अंडरस्टैंडिंग, राइट, कि ये वाला चीज होना चाहिए. नाउ वंस यू हैव दिस सेट ऑफ स्किल सेट, अब सोचो कि यू मे बी अ मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टेंट ऑफ अ obviously a management consulting firm, say a McKinsey or BCG, or अभी तो बहुत IT companies में भी they have come up with their management consulting wings, right? Say a Deloitte, a Pricewaterhouse, right? So everyone is setting up their own consulting this thing. So those areas are obviously going to be the place where opportunities opens up for you. Then a very big opportunity gets to be into the corporate strategy part of it. So you may be working in the corporates of all sizes, right? So जब भी मैं कोई कंपनी की बात करता हूँ, कोई भी इंडस्ट्री की बात कर रहा हूँ, प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, हमेशा ये पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचो कि बड़ा कंपनी भी हो सकता है, मीडियम साइज हो सकता है, स्मॉल कंपनीज भी हो सकता है. सो कंसल्टिंग कंपनीज आर ऑल्सो, देयर आर very big companies, there are mid-sized companies, and there are small companies. Those who are following me, they know it. I've also stated it many times. In investment banking also, you have large companies, you have mid-sized companies, and you have small companies, and you have boutique investment banks, right? So इसमें भी वैसे ही होता है. There are management consulting firms who specializes in particular industry or as a particular nature of projects. So suppose someone only specializes in profitability, they are not into diversification. Wala cheez. You're getting what I'm saying? So they may have their own specific niche, your skill set that they have built for themselves. So from that perspective, you can think, and you can also think that on the corporate strategy side of any of the corporates, that's also a very big area where one can really make an inroad, और बहुत उसमें opportunities है, right? So I was part of the corporate strategy. I was in CMD Secretariat of Bank of Baroda. So I was part of initiating this entire business restructuring of the bank. So bank was having a business of 1,80,000 crores, how to make it to 3 lakh crores within 3 years span of time, right? So that was the end objective. तो ये करने के लिए a team was set up. So that team was called in our we were a 3-member team which is called the Project Parivartan. So the project was Parivartan, bring change, business transformation, right? So the logo that you see of Bank of Baroda logo, that was done by me. I mean to say, I have had taken a lot of so a lot of work we have done. Logo you can identify, so that's why I'm sharing that thing with you. So corporate strategy part of it. Then McKinsey was appointed as a consultant, so we worked together, right, to implement strategies, make formulate strategies and implement them. So all these areas open up for you. You're getting what I'm trying to say. And companies are really looking for professionals who can help them grow, who can help them build profitability, who can help them diversify, who can help them launch products. बहुत बहुत जरूरत है. It's very easy to get guys who are having functional skills, जैसे सेल्स वाला बंदा, मार्केटिंग वाला बंदा, एचआर वाला बंदा, ऐसा बंदा मिलता है. लेकिन ये बहुत मुश्किल होता है to get a guy who has understanding at a corporate level, can lead to all the, it is, I don't know how many of you know that there are 7 functions in a business. So ये पूरा functions जो है इसको integrate करके कैसे, how you place solutions to a company, right? So that requirement is huge, and there's huge demand of such people, right? So if you gain those set of skill sets, मतलब opportunity है अगर if you are able to place across. So though I'm using the word management consultant, so but what I'm trying to do to you is I'm trying to give you a sense that don't restrict yourself only in context of management consulting firms. मतलब जो आईबी में भी मैं जो चीज बोलता हूँ कि आईबी मतलब गोल्डमैन सैक्स मत सोचो, वैसे मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग मतलब मैकिन्जे और बीसीजी मत सोचो. So broaden the horizon of thinking as to, it's all about gaining the right skills and how you can move on to those specific skills, right? So Varun, how to gain those skills? देखो, I will give you a structure. Now I really don't have, I can build a program where you can build skills around management consulting, right? But I have not devised that. I have not. But today I'll give you a thought process as to how you should go ahead thinking on these lines, right? And तुम जो अगर तुम्हारा EICP वाला वो वाला स्किल सेट बिल्ड हो जाए तो यू आर गुड टू गो. 70-80% यू आर गुड टू गो. बाकी जो होगा, इट्स ऑल अबाउट हाउ यू कैन हेल्प कंपनीज इंप्लीमेंट. सो दैट्स अ इजियर टास्क, लेट मी टेल यू. सो डोंट वरी, वो हो जाएगा, राइट? Any specific job portal for this kind of professions? Nishant, sub job portal mein you search with management consultancy, I'm sure there are like in every job portals you have that. But job portal से कोई नौकरी मिलता नहीं है. Please join my job search जो webinar में जब करूँगा, join over there. I have discussed in detail, right? Have you discussed the required skill set? So required skill set is, as I'm mentioning, Rajat, कि घूम फिर के वही है, तुम your ability to analyze thing and your ability to implement thing. So analysis and implementation वो IB में भी है. So analysis वाला piece as per me IB और management consulting में same रहता है. Implementation is where the things gets to be different. तो इम्प्लीमेंटेशन में तुम्हारा वहां पे द फोकस इज इन फंड रेजिंग इन द आईबी साइड ऑफ इट, और ये साइड में इट्स मोर अबाउट इम्प्लीमेंटिंग स्ट्रेटजीज, right? That's how it gets to be different. So I mean, a specific certification for management. So Anirban, the thing is there is no specific certification which is, as per my knowledge, is really available for management consulting, this thing, so that's why whoever gets to be working for management consultant in the management consultancy space, people from various backgrounds and various स्किल सेट्स एंड वेरियस एक्सपोजर जो उन लोग को अलग अलग जगह पे मिला है, they can move into management consulting, right? So ऐसा कोई सर्टिफिकेशन लेके जाने वाला बात नहीं है. फिर वो like वो they would try to analyze your capabilities from an analysis point of view. Feed, they would give you certain situations which I'll show it to you. I have you'll appreciate when I'll show those things to you. So just wait for some time and your many questions would get answered. Your Zoom call is really, would it be possible to get the recording for all your platforms? Sorry Brijesh, I'm not really sharing the recordings. Can gain from your, yeah Varun, absolutely, to join sir your portal. Chandra, for in what context you are asking this question, just let me know that. We discuss 7 functions of business which you've just talked about. So Rajat, the 7 functions of a business includes sales, marketing, operations, human resource, technology, research and development, and what's the last one? Have I already spoken about the 7? So marketing, sales, HR, operations, technology, research and development. Pashupati, you remember the 7th one? Just let me know if you remember the 7th one. I'm missing on one. याद आता है तो बोलता हूँ. हाँ, leadership, right? Leadership, right? So these are the seven functions of a business. Uh, where CS fit for this, Dolly CS fit everywhere. तो ये सब ना साइड में रखो. CA, MBA, क्वालिफिकेशन, ये सब साइड में रखो. उससे कुछ ही नहीं होता है. मेन है कि यू आर अ ह्यूमन बीइंग, वेदर यू कैन थिंक रैशनली और लॉजिकली. हाँ, सीए, पीए, एमबीए ये सब दिखाने के लिए होता है कि मतलब ये आदमी ने कुछ पढ़ाई लिखाई किया है. लेकिन सो आई विल ऑलवेज से इन दिस मैनर, यू नो, मतलब वो सब बात का बात है. लेकिन तुम रैशनली सोच सकते हो कि ना, वेदर इफ यू आर बीन गिवन अ सिचुएशन, वेदर यू हैव अ स्ट्रक्चर्ड थॉट प्रोसेस, right? So you'll appreciate what I'm trying to say. I will show you something very interesting today. If person in your bank, if you can state in short, path है उससे से आप turn and deliver. Malcolm, अभी time नहीं है, already ये सब बात करते करते 9:23 हो गया है. कभी दूसरा दिन I'll discuss on that. Can we switch to Google Meet going forward? Why, Ankit? What's the challenge? I think everyone's okay with Zoom. How can a fresher enter this, and it's difficult to find a Sanya, these are mental blocks. ऐसा कुछ नहीं है. Fresher, go to my YouTube channel. If you don't have experience how to find jobs, how to look for jobs, you can get to understand over there my what I believe in. And guys, I've shared in my Facebook group of a guy who has got a job recently. Grade में. Have you seen that video of this guy who has 3D में उसने काम किया है? क्या दिमाग लगाया बंदे ने. He's a fresher and how he has got a job, right? And like really appreciable work. Please go to my Facebook group. I have uploaded it 2 days back, I guess. Just scroll through and you will get that. So you have to be creative around things, right? So, and if you have not attended my job search program webinar, please attend that whenever I'm going to have it next time. Successful businessman, a good manager, is converse also true. So Nishant, if a person is a good management consultant, obviously the way he would look at business would be widely different. And if he or she is really doing things in a proper structured manner, then obviously the probability of that person doing great increases manifold, right? So obviously there is a relation as such. में से फायदा नहीं है. So what is so Chandra, वो कोई दूसरा webinar में I discuss all these things which I'll do to the rational thinking. Okay, so I'll give you an example of that. Sarika, rational thinking मतलब मैं क्या बोलना चाह रहा हूँ. Doipian, I didn't understand your question. 21-year-old guy to develop rational thinking. I'll show it to you. Grade ones was just for internship. Whereas had been focusing on such type of resume model banao. Right, absolutely. How to get work from home job? Please suggest. Uh, Dilip, I don't think you are at the right place. So guys, let's move forward, right? Okay, so I hope you have got a clarity that these are the broader heads. इसको note करके रखो कि ये सारे areas में one has to build understand how to go about for that, right? Now we are going to dig deep, right? So the first, now इसको मैं अभी peel off करूँगा कि एक एक areas में हम लोग क्या क्या देखेंगे, right? So the first piece in this is profitability, right? The profitability may suppose if you are the interviewer and say I'm the interviewer and you are sitting on the other side, right? So if I have thoughts as to, I'll check this guy as to what he or she has understanding around dealing with situations where they have to help companies increase the profitability, right? So उसका क्या चीज में समझ होना चाहिए. So a profitability case would deal with revenue side issues, cost side issues, or both, right? So the candidate is expected to identify the key revenue and cost heads and isolate the problem areas. Uh, so this is what the framework is, right? So if we are thinking about the aspect of profitability in this case, just give me a minute. Right, so as we know, profits, we can break it up into revenues minus cost. Now if we are trying to obviously focus on the revenue side of it, so it is like price per unit into number of units sold, right? And in case of cost, it is cost per unit into number of units sold, right? And this number of units sold is now a function of the market size into market share percentage. So that is how it boils down into number of units sold. And in case of cost per unit, it is fixed component plus variable component. So प्रॉफिट तो ऐसे ही बढ़ाया जाएगा, मतलब प्रॉफिट का डिस्कशन होगा तो ये दिस इज द फ्रेमवर्क व्हिच वी नीड टू थिंक अबाउट, है ना? ये छोड़ के और कुछ नहीं है. सो अभी हम लोग को मतलब यही कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम लोग को सोचना है. सो दिस इज द फ्रेमवर्क व्हिच वी शुड हैव इन माइंड, right? Now we'll see how to apply that as we move forward. So a profitability problem requires proper scoping and isolation to be solved effectively. So starting from the basics, profits equal to revenue minus cost equation. Each segment is to be drilled down to identify the problem areas. So once you have this mental structure in your mind, so you know that these are the problem areas through discussion when we figure out, right? And the factors responsible could be both internal or external. So one needs to be cognizant about whether the issue being dealt with is profits or profitability. This is very important, whether it's profits or profitability. So profits are merely a difference in revenue minus cost, while profitability refers to profit as a percentage of sales. So that is gross margin, operating margin, or net margin. तो ये हम लोग को समझ होना चाहिए, and we need to focus on the value chain analysis to cover all costs. We'll see on the cost reduction part में जब discuss करेंगे, so we'll see more into this, right? So the key questions that one needs to focus on is like, what is the quantum of profits and losses? How has the trend been like over the in the past? Is it a company specific phenomena or is it being seen industry wide? So if you see a dip in revenue or see an increase in cost, right? So that is going to obviously have an effect on the profitability. So and profits as well. So how is it a phenomena which is specific to this company or is the industry as a whole? So we have to be clear. We have to place certain questions so that we get those inputs. So is there a time period in which this issue has to be is to be solved? How does the product mix look like, or has there been any change in the competitive scenario which is bringing an effect in the profitability? So all these things would be looked into. So in this profitability gamut, we are speaking about two sections to it, right? So the next section is cost reduction. We'll see how we are going to apply that. So on the cost reduction front, what we see that in a cost reduction case, a company is likely to aim for becoming more profitable by reducing their bottom line. So an interview is expected to first identify various cost components, followed by validating them, identifying major cost drivers along with levers affecting their values, and finally recommend how the company can change its way to become more cost efficient. So we need to understand which are those cost drivers and how those cost drivers are behaving, right? So for that, what is the structure we need to focus on is something like this, right? So over here, what we get to see that this is where the value chain works out, right? So in this entire structure of say creating something, so we have a R&D department where there can be focus around equipment, human capital, cost of finance, right? Raw material, cost of raw material, contracts and bulk deals, quantity used, processing. See, this is just a like to give you a flavor, right? So it can be much broader, in depth. It may be under different other heads. Don't get into the criticality of what are the heads and what are the subheads. वैसे मत सोचो सोचो कि ये these are the broader heads, ऐसे हमको ये चीज को देखना है, right? So in processing, what about the cost around machinery, factory and labor hours, technology, capacity utilization, packaging? So ऐसा storage and transportation में, distribution, sales force में, sales channel, sales force training, marketing channel, strategy, repairs, spare parts, returns in context of customer service. So we need to have a total perspective around the cost aspects, right? So we have seen the revenue side of it, we have seen the cost side of it. So जो भी होगा ये सब चीज elements में ही हम लोग को काम करना है. Then only we would be able to understand how things are shaping up, right? So a company can reduce costs and become more efficient across its components, and the best way is to look at the journey of a product or service right from the time its raw materials are bought to the time it's delivered to the customer. See, I am trying to
build that thought in you कि कल एक interview होगा तो कैसे, how you should approach in terms of giving a good response, right? So this is called value chain analysis, as each step of the process adds some value to the initial raw material and accelerates its journey towards the final product. I hope by this time you got a mental sense around this set of things, right? So the key questions around cost reduction gets to be, is this particular company facing the problem of high cost, or is it something that the industry is facing as a whole? So you always have to match it up with what is happening in the industry. So that's why all, so now I hope whoever is joining my webinars, all these webinars, you must be getting some sort of a relation building up, right? That when we have discussed on power industry, biscuit manufacturing company, so I have stressed on the fact that industry analysis gets to be very key. And over here you are, I hope you are getting that understanding that you need to obviously see whether it is specific to that particular company or industry at large, right? Then chalk the value chain and then ask if it is the correct way to do so, or should it be done by splitting fixed cost and variable cost. Then you have to think in all the cost elements, how much is the fixed cost and variable cost, and what is the effect getting into each of these costs. What has been the last 3 years strength in growth of the organization, any major shift in cost over time, does any of this cost seems out of line, and stuff like that, right? So these are the broader heads on which your focus has to be. So guys, are you getting it? Just a second. So are you getting some sense? कुछ मतलब एक structure build हो रहा है दिमाग में? Just let me know. Abhishek is giving right. Give me a, so someone's always started giving a good. So could you show the key questions again? Sumit, थोड़ा जल्दी करना है बॉस, क्योंकि बाद में I'll get back once I'm through with everything, right? Subject analysis, yeah, right. So can you download? Guys, I cannot share the slides to download, but तुम लोग अगर print screen लेना चाहते हो तो print screen लेके Word file में paste करके वैसे you can keep it for your reference, right? So I hope you are getting the structure. और इस अभी मजा आएगा, right? तो अभी Friday evening में किसको beer पीना है? How many of you wants to have a beer, right? In the Friday, it's a Friday eve, right? So beer तो नहीं पिला सकते, लेकिन beer company के बारे में थोड़ा discussion होगा तो कुछ, I don't think you would mind, right? So let's see कि एक beer manufacturing company के बारे में अगर तुमको एक question पूछा जाए इसमें in an interview, how the discussions should move, so that you'll get a clarity, भाई ऐसा क्वेश्चन आएगा और ऐसा मुझे बोलना पड़ेगा आंसर. एंड आई एम श्योर बाय द टाइम आई विल एंड दिस यू विल अंडरस्टैंड जो चीज मैं हमेशा बोलता रहता हूँ कि इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग हो, मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग हो, लाइफ में जो भी एरियाज में काम करोगे, जो एरियाज में एटलीस्ट बिजनेस एंड फाइनेंस में, you guys have to ask the right questions. So your ability of asking the right questions gets to be very, very critical. ये मैं बोलता हूँ कि नहीं बोलता हूँ, whoever is right. So I keep on saying. So over here you'll now see how to place those set of questions. So that is what I would like to discuss over here. So this is a company which this is a sort of say a discussion between the interviewer and the guy who is say trying to hold the position of a consultant in a particular company, right? So how it's going to work? So your client, so a sort of a case has been given to you, and this is happening like verbally, right? So your client is a beer manufacturing company that operates in India. The cost structure for the company is poor compared to the international benchmarks, and you have been asked by the client to find out why. So why this company cost structure is poor compared to the international benchmarks. So that is what the objective statement that has been placed across, right? Now you have to ask the right questions, and the person who is the interviewer is going to behave in a way that he or she is representing the company, and like you ask the question and that person is going to respond back, right? So then now say the flow of discussion goes in this way. See, if I would have had time, then I would have loved to do it with this exercise one to one, right? But that's not a possibility within this constraint. So I've devised a structure so that you understand how the entire discussion unfolds, right? So now, if say you, whatever questions you are going to ask is represented by blue, right? And the ones which is in black is what I am trying to say. So you ask, is the problem only on the cost side, or should I also analyze the revenues of the company to look for a problem there? So I says, no, the problem is only on the cost side. Then you say, all right, is the problem with only one specific beer product, or is the problem spread across out across different products? Additionally, is this an industry wide problem or specific to our client? So you are understanding, right? So we are trying to understand whether we should at all focus on the revenue side. He says no, so that we keep at bay, right? Then we are trying to understand the product mix. Is it happening only for a specific beer product or different products? Then we are getting into the industry side question, whether it's an industry wide problem or specific to our client, right? So obviously when you would be actually getting into the exercise, then you have to find it all these answers. Few you have to do your own analysis and research, few you have to ask the people out there, the top management or the people working in the shop floor. But here during the interview, it is to check how your thought process is going to be, and that's why it's a sort of a discussion that's happening. So the person says, I say the problem is not limited to one product. In fact, the client is facing the problem across many beer products. So there is no relevance to the problem being limited to our client or the industry. Okay, so then you say, okay, I think it would make sense to break down the cost into the value chain to see where the cost issues lie. So now what he's doing is breaking it into the value chain analysis, which I showed you, right? So should I go ahead with the same? So he says, okay, sure, you can do that. Then you say, I would start by looking at the raw material cost. So what was said, that you should start everything from the raw material point of view, right? That is where it all starts. So are they larger than the industry average? So he says, no, our raw material costs are in line with the industry. Okay, next I would like at the processing cost. So raw material कोई problem नहीं है, अभी processing का सोचते हैं. So have there been any issues out there? He says, yes, as a matter of fact, our processing costs are higher than the benchmarks. So now he is getting into the real area of challenge. So then he says, okay, in that case, I would like to delve deeper into processing costs. तो अभी समझ में आ रहा है, the problem processing cost area में है. So however, before I proceed with the same, I would like to see if this is the only cost head that has an issue. So he says, you may proceed with processing costs. There are no other cost heads where the client is facing a problem. So he's saying, he also is helping the person to make them him understand that this is where the problem is lying. Okay, is the client facing labor or rent issues, or is having underutilization of capacity? So he says, yes, the client is indeed facing a problem in utilization of capacity. So it means that the production capacity, suppose चॉकलेट बियर मैन्युफैक्चर है, वो 100 बॉटल्स बना सकते हैं, लेकिन बन रहा है से 60 bottles. So it is underutilization of capacity. So how many plants machines does the client own? What is the capacity of each plant or machine? Are we utilizing 100% of the production capacity? The client owns 3 plants with 3 machines each. The capacity of each plant is 30,000 bottles. Yes, we are able to utilize 100% of the capacity. Okay, so this would mean 10,000 bottles per machine. Are the competitors also producing 30,000 bottles per plant? No, the competitors are able to produce 50,000 to 80,000 bottles per plant, right? So is it because of better machines or more number of machines? So competitors are using advanced machines which are able to produce more number of bottles per machine. So how expensive are advanced machines? Would the labor need special training to operate the same? So these machines cost 1.5 times the normal machine and produces twice the amount produced by the normal machine. So there are no special training requirements to operate the machine. So that is how the discussion is flowing. So then he says, okay, so now I would want to figure out the reason for not buying high capacity machines. So he's saying, sure, go ahead. Then he says, I could think of 2 following reasons. The client can't invest an amount of 1.5 crores at this point of time, or there are some logistics issues associated with installing the machine. So the client can invest 1.5 crores. So let's explore the second option. So it can be because of the size of machine or different raw material requirements. Okay, so the advanced high capacity machine requires larger ground area, which is not possible in the current plant size. What would you recommend in such a case? So I have a few questions before I get into that recommendations. How many shifts are we operating, and what is the duration of each shift? So we are currently operating in 2 shifts of 8 hours each. So in the short term, we can increase the shifts from 2 to 3 to increase the capacity of the plant. And in the longer run, we can aim to buy plants which are larger as compared to the existing plant to accommodate high capacity machines, right? So guys, are you getting, are you appreciating what I am trying to say? कि भाई सही गलत नहीं है इसमें. There is no right or wrong answer. It is all about how you are digging deep, right? Into एक layer के बाद एक layer, एक layer के बाद एक layer, एक क्वेश्चन के बाद एक क्वेश्चन, एक के बाद दूसरा क्वेश्चन, and that should have been in a structured manner. And this is what is going to be, मतलब तुम cases, how you are structuring your thoughts, and that is what is going to be tested upon. तो आई होप मतलब प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी वाला कोई क्वेश्चन आएगा, सो यू हैव अ मैप एट दिस पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम कि इसमें रेवेन्यू कॉस्ट एलिमेंट, रेवेन्यू क्वेश्चन होगा तो प्राइस पर यूनिट, अब प्राइस पर यूनिट किससे जुड़ा है, तो नाउ यू हैव अ मेंटल मैप. सो दिस इज हाउ द एंटायर डिस्कशन नीड्स टू अनफोल्ड. इफ इट इज इन द कॉस्ट, देन रॉ मटेरियल का मैं पूछूंगा, प्रोसेसिंग का पूछूंगा, और जो तो ये जो मैं स्ट्रक्चर दिया हूं उस हिसाब से यू हैव टू कीप द थिंग इन माइंड. इज इट इंटरेस्टिंग गाइस? जस्ट लेट मी नो. चंद्रा, डोंट लेट अस नॉट डिस्कस ऑन कि सही गलत, उसमें हम लोग वो डिबेट डिस्कशन में नहीं जाएंगे, ठीक है? बिकॉज यहाँ पे कोई, नो वन इज ट्राइंग टू गेट इनटू दैट अंडरस्टैंडिंग कि तुम सही बोल रहे हो कि गलत बोल रहे हो. फोकस ऑन कि तुम क्वेश्चन कैसे पूछोगे. देयर इज अ थिंग इन मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग, दिस थिंग जिसके ऊपर मैं कभी कोई एक सेशन लेना चाहूंगा, गेस्टिमेट्स. गेस्टिमेट्स के ऊपर बहुत क्वेश्चन आता है. आई डोंट नो वेदर यू गाइस हैव हर्ड दिस टर्म कॉल्ड गेस्टिमेट. GUESSTIMAT. बोल देगा, बोलो मुंबई शहर में कितना टैक्सी चलता है. नाउ किसी को पता है ना, वो जो पूछ रहा है उसको उसको भी पता है ना, तुम्हें पता है, right? But then how you get into solving that question, right? There should be some method to the madness. So how you break it up into smaller pieces, तो क्या स्ट्रक्चर फॉलो करना चाहिए. These are very interesting stuff guys, and well, at least मेरे लिए तो बहुत इंटरेस्टिंग है. That is what I'm trying to understand, whether it is interesting for you guys as well, right? So it's all about structure thinking, right? So I have more than 3 years of experience in project and BFI, so if I'm asking the same questions, yeah. Anything to keep in mind about asking this question before solving the case also is an. So Shivangi, as I'm giving the structure to you, so that approach framework जो मैं दिखा रहा हूँ, that is what you have to keep in mind, right? Upper limit to a number of questions. No, there is no upper limit, Shivangi. Obviously, जब तुम practically काम करोगे, there would be obviously date timelines within which you have to do stuff. ऑब्वियसली तुम कितना क्वेश्चन 15 दिन में कुछ काम खत्म करना है और 6 महीने में खत्म करना है, दोनों में ऑब्वियसली कितना डेप्थ में जाओगे वो डिफर करता है. बट देन द थिंग विच आई ऑलवेज कीप ऑन सेइंग, इट शुड बी इन अ बेस्ट एफर्ट बेसिस. हमेशा याद रखो ये 3 वर्ड, ठीक है? और बैंक फैंक कभी भी कोई पे, यार तुमने ये नहीं देखा वो नहीं देखा, तो ये सर ये मेरा बेस्ट एफर्ट बेसिस में मैंने ये किया, और टाइम मिलता तो मैं और करता, right? So ये it saves your from many challenges also. तो just ये word को हमेशा याद रखो. Not lag, can you show the slide please? कौन सा slide शश्वती? Clear as crystal. Got it. This well again, root cause analysis. So yeah, so Deepak, it's not root cause analysis per se, but yeah, root cause is also like that only, right? It's all about asking question. मतलब तुम घूम फिर के देखोगे चीज वही है. It's all about asking questions. So the probability of asking questions and to confidently ask the right questions, it's very important to ask the right questions, right? So BSA is a Delphi technique, yeah. So guys, give me a quick A if you're finding this to be interesting. Or boss, मतलब एक चीज तो मानोगे, ये सब कोई सिखा नहीं रहा है, कोई ये सब लेके बात ही नहीं कर रहा है, नो वन टीचेस यू। कोई मैनेजमेंट कॉलेजेस में सब मैनेजमेंट पढ़ के आए हो, सब अलग अलग कॉलेजेस, बोलो कौन सिखाता है कॉलेज में ये सब? नो वन इज टीचिंग। तो आदमी को नौकरी मिलेगा कैसे? आदमी कैसे पूछेगा क्वेश्चन? और तुम लोग को हवा भी नहीं है वो चीज का, राइट? एंड नो वन इज टीचिंग ऑल्सो इन बिटवीन। तो कैसे नौकरी मिलेगा भाई? और यहाँ पे मैं देखता हूँ, मतलब मैं इतना पूरा इंडिया घूमा हूँ कि क्या जरूरत है इन आदमी का ऐसा कि जो ऐसा स्ट्रक्चर्ड वे से सोचे, ये ऐसा ऐसा ये सब पता हो। दिस इज द प्रॉब्लम एंड दिस इज प्रिसाइजली व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू डू, सो दैट यू गाइस, मतलब जो जितना मेरे से होता है कि यू गाइस टोटल, मतलब यू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ टू गो अबाउट फॉर दिस। और ये तो सिर्फ मैं प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी, मतलब जस्ट शुरू का प्रॉफिटेबिलिटी और कॉस्ट रिडक्शन का बात किया। अभी देखो, और मतलब इफ यू आर फाइंडिंग दिस इंटरेस्टिंग, देन you have loads to learn today, right? So let's move forward. So guys, so this is sort of a structure, right? So suppose if when you are actually sitting across, right? So you will have a pen and paper in front of you. Say you are the interviewer and you are taking notes, qualitative case, no numbers provided. So there is, so you are just keeping a note for yourself, because it's not a quantitative case per se. अब cases भी quantitative हो सकता है. So what I'm showing to you is the very easy sort of thing, cases, ताकि मतलब फर्स्ट टाइम यू आर गेटिंग योरसेल्फ एक्सपोज। अब इसमें भी एट डिफरेंट लेवल्स ऑफ केसेस होता है, तो कभी मैं कुछ प्रोग्राम बनाऊंगा तो देन आई विल लाइक टू डिस्कस। मुझे पता नहीं होता है कि हाउ मेनी पर्सन्स आर रियली इंटरेस्टेड इन मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग, सो इसलिए आई हैव नेवर क्रिएटेड अ प्रोग्राम अराउंड दैट। सो अ सिंगल कॉस्ट हेड केस वेयर वन इशू नीड्स टू बी आइडेंटिफाइड, द कॉस्ट प्रॉब्लम इज identified to win packaging, right? It should be processing basically. So case where client did a beer manufacturing company with multiple products. It is facing cost issues with more than one beer product. Your client is a, right? तो ये पूरा जो स्ट्रक्चर है, जो R&D, रॉ मटेरियल प्रोसेसिंग, तो प्रॉब्लम कहाँ है? कैपेसिटी यूटिलाइजेशन में। और कैपेसिटी यूटिलाइजेशन में दो चीज हो सकता है कि यू रिक्वायर एडवांस मशीन्स और इंक्रीजिंग काउंट ऑफ मशीन्स। सो दैट इज हाउ द थिंग इज ब्रोकन इनटू, राइट? सो this is getting to be the point of focus of discussion, right? So I hope you understood what I am trying to place across. So now let's move to the next part of it. So the next तरीके का जो ये होता है, that is called pricing, right? So if you remember the broader heads which I am referring to शुरू के slide में, so profitability, cost reduction, the third is pricing. Pricing, let's see something around the pricing part of it. So in a pricing case, the objective is to determine a methodology for pricing of any product. The product could be a new invention, it could have been other competitor products in the market, and so on. The person shall determine the objective of the company, understand the product features and market environment, and then apply a relevant methodology to price the product, right? So that is what going to be the objective around pricing. So यहाँ पे क्या framework होगा? Is something like this. So pricing a product में, it may be that the product is something which is radically innovated, something which is very new. So that sort of product was not existing in the market, right? So that may be a possible thing. It may be a modification. So it's not an invention per se, but it's an innovation, right? So I hope you understand the difference between invention and innovation. So it's a sort of a modification and some new structure has come up. So modification to existing product. So for which there may be the case where competition do exist, and there may be a situation where competition doesn't exist, right? Uh, then there may be a product which is similar to existing product, right? कुछ अलग नहीं है, एक ही तरीके का product है. Or it may be pricing with respect to another product which is something which is like a different sort of a product altogether, but meets the same type of needs, right? So this is the structure framework which one has to think about in. Now जब pricing का हम लोग बात करते हैं, so there are different types of pricing strategies, but few are like value based pricing, or there's another thing called price skimming, right? So how many of you know about price skimming, guys? Just let me know. Are you aware of the term price skimming? इज हेल्प टू गिव अंडरस्टैंडिंग इन मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग। अनिर्बन देखता हूँ तुम लोग इंटरेस्ट दिखाओगे तो भाई एक कोर्स बनाने में मुझे 6 महीना लगता है मिनिमम। ठीक है, देयर इज अ लॉट ऑफ एफर्ट दैट गोज बिहाइंड, लॉट ऑफ थॉट्स, स्ट्रक्चरिंग, बहुत सारी चीज का ये होता है। फिर जाके मैं एक चीज बनाऊं और उसका फिर देयर इज नो डिमांड फॉर दिस, सो सो देन इट डजंट मेक सेंस फॉर मी, राइट? आई एम इंटरेस्टेड, आई डिडंट फाइंड इट रेस्पॉन्स, राइट? निशांत वैसे नेट में नहीं होगा, उस ज्वाइन माय जॉब सर्च वाला वेबिनार्स, tool to be learned other than Excel and Power BI for advanced analysis. Mahesh, is it the first time you're joining my webinar? Just let me know. Uh, एक भाई कोई कोई यस बोल रहा है, कोई कोई नो बोल रहा है। कौन नो क्यों बोल रहा है और यस भी क्यों बोल रहा है मुझे समझ में नहीं आया। सो इफ यू गाइस कैन लेट मी नो, कोई मैंने क्या क्वेश्चन पूछा था जिसके लिए हाई प्राइस एट इनिशियल स्टेज, ये भी क्या कॉन्टेक्स्ट में महेश, व्हाई यू आर सेइंग सो हाई प्राइस एट इनिशियल स्टेज? टेक्नोलॉजी प्रोडक्ट्स यूज फॉर टू कवर अ promotion and advertising cost, setting high price. Okay, from the context of, okay, some people are saying high, yes or no from price skimming perspective, right? Or high price at initial stage. Okay, let me okay, technology products used for to cover a promotion is a name. Setting high price on new product when launched in the market. Setting high price of a new product, not exactly that. Please make okay. Skimming pricing, yeah, US pricing, yeah. But I'm also I don't know price skimming, okay, yeah. So price skimming क्या होता है? skimming word कहाँ से आया है? हम लोग जब दूध पीते हैं तो वो ऊपर जो लेयर होता है ना, उसको स्कीम बोला जाता है, इफ आई एम नॉट रॉन्ग, राइट? तो वो लेवल पे रहता है। तो प्राइस स्कीमिंग क्या होता है कि कोई एक प्रोडक्ट मान के चलो कि यू आर कमिंग अप विद, राइट? लेकिन तुम चाहोगे नहीं कि वो प्राइस पॉइंट से तुम्हारा प्राइस पॉइंट गिर जाए। यू गेटिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग? सो सपोज एप्पल एक प्रोडक्ट लेके आया, कोई मोबाइल लेके आया 70,000 में। सो ही वॉन्ट, मतलब वो जो प्रोडक्ट है, वो जो नया प्रोडक्ट इनोवेट किया, ही इज नेवर गोइंग टू सेल इट एट अ लोअर प्राइस। से 70,000 की जगह 40,000 में वो बेचना नहीं चाहेगा, क्योंकि फ्रॉम अ मार्केटिंग स्टैंड पॉइंट मतलब एक आदमी का पोजीशनिंग हो गया कि एप्पल प्रोडक्ट्स ऐसा प्राइस रेंज में है, ज्यादा हो सकता है लेकिन ये लेवल तो मिनिमम है ही। तो उन लोग क्या करते हैं उस समय कि जो प्रोडक्ट वो चल रहा था मार्केट में उसको नीचे करते हैं। सो मे बी 70,000 वाला 50,000 कर दिया, लेकिन नया जो प्रोडक्ट है उसको वो प्राइस में लेके आए 70,000 में। Though that new product, due to their some effectiveness and efficiency that they have built up in the way they are coming up with the product, they could have sold it at a lower price, but they won't do that. जो पिछला मतलब पुराना प्रोडक्ट है उसको कम पैसे में बेचेगा और नया प्रोडक्ट को वो लेवल पे जाएगा। तो हमेशा मतलब वो प्राइस पॉइंट उन लोग मेंटेन करते हैं कि उसको फिर बढ़ाते जाते हैं, बट वो लेवल से घटता नहीं है चीज कभी। वो प्राइस वो सेट कर देते हैं। हाँ, डॉली बोला बेंचमार्क सेट कर देता है। सो दैट इज व्हाट प्राइस स्कीमिंग रेफर्स टू। गॉट इट गाइस? एक सेंस आया ना प्राइस स्कीमिंग? सो दैट इज ऑल्सो टाइप ऑफ प्राइसिंग स्ट्रेटेजी, राइट? विच one try to set across. So setting high for a price when it enters the market, right? So got it, right? तो अभी इसको देखते हैं कि ये वाला कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम लोग जब डिस्कशन कर रहे हैं कि the various strategies, so it may be value based pricing or price skimming. So obviously when you are working on these pricing strategies it depends on the, तो you are getting it right कि भाई सिर्फ फाइनेंशियल मॉडलिंग और वैल्यूएशन सीखने से नहीं होगा, ये बिजनेस को समझना पड़ेगा। तो you need to understand the willingness to pay of buyers, opportunity cost of no product, right? So buyers कितना पे करना चाहता है, right? You need to assess that. For that you need to do research. Opportunity cost of no product, कि वो जो प्रोडक्ट हम लेके आए उसका दूसरा प्रोडक्ट है कि नहीं है, ऑल्टरनेटिव प्रोडक्ट्स कुछ है कि नहीं है। सो व्हाट इज द अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट ऑफ नॉट हैविंग दैट सॉर्ट प्रोडक्ट, सप्लाई वर्सेस डिमांड ट्रेड ऑफ। कॉस्ट प्लस प्राइसिंग में आता है R&D कॉस्ट, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग सर्विसिंग कॉस्ट, ब्रेक इवन कॉस्ट, वेटेड एवरेज कॉस्ट ऑफ कैपिटल। कंपेरेबल पैरिटी प्राइसिंग में एग्जिस्टिंग प्रोडक्ट विद सिमिलर फीचर्स, नो सिमिलर प्रोडक्ट, राइट? तो अलग अलग pricing strategy है. So here we are not there to discuss pricing strategies, but the objective is to give you a sense that there are different types of pricing strategies, right? So key questions क्या क्या चीज में यहाँ पे फोकस करना है कि which industry we are talking about, क्योंकि इंडस्ट्री के बेसिस पे ये प्राइसिंग वाला चीज डिफर करेगा. व्हाट इज द ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ द कंपनी, व्हाट आर द प्रोडक्ट फीचर्स, हाउ बिग इज द मार्केट, व्हाट आर द टारगेट सेगमेंट्स, हु इज द कस्टमर इन द सप्लाई चेन. सो दीज वुड बी द की सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. सो गाइस आई जो जैसा हम लोग बियर मैन्युफैक्चरर के कॉन्टेक्स्ट में हम लोग ने डिस्कस किया, लेट अस अंडरस्टैंड इन अ सिमिलर फैशन ऑफ अ कंपनी व्हिच इज इनटू हेलीकॉप्टर सर्विस, राइट? सो दे आर ट्राइंग टू सेट अप uh, so your client is a heli air service provider. How would you price this service? Is it a viable business? So that is the sort of a situation that is been placed to you. Now what sort of questions you are going to ask? So all right, first of all I would like to understand what exactly is a heli air service and where is the client planning to operate it. So someone says heli air service is a helicopter service for intercity transport. The client is planning to operate in Delhi. The service would be from the airport to two different ports at the two ends of the city. Then you ask, are they operating in anywhere else? Yes, the client has operations in London, Paris, and New York. Is there any specific reason for choosing India? So they are excited about the growth opportunities in India and feel that it is the right time to enter the market. Are there any existing players in the market? No. So there is no player in the market, right? Then our main competition is with existing services like cab or metro. How are you placed in comparison to these services? So it says, what according to you are the advantages of the proposed service? The major advantage would be in terms of time saved and the luxury and convenience, right? So that's right. The travel time would reduce to half. So that is the advantage of this sort of a service that is coming up. Just a second. I hope I've not missed out on this. Okay. Now coming to the pricing part, there are three possible pricing strategies that we can look into. See, I've given you the structure. So he is also trying to apply that way. Cost-based pricing, competitor-based pricing, value-based pricing. Since we do not have a direct competitor, I would like to focus on the competitor-based pricing. Hat gaya. Competitor hi nahi hai, so there is no competitor-based pricing. So now the focus is on cost-based and value-based pricing. Is there a particular strategy that you would like me to start with? Why don't we start with the cost? What are the major costs involved? The cost can be divided into fixed and variable. One of the major fixed costs would be for the helicopter. Are we planning to buy a new helicopter, lease it, or get it from another market where we currently operate? How many helicopters are we planning to get? Right? So this is how the discussion is unfolding. So we plan to rent it and start with one helicopter. Okay, so other fixed costs would be airport charges, maintenance charges, salaries of the employees, insurance costs, etc. The main variable cost would be the fuel cost. Do we have data about the cost? So it says the cost of renting the helicopter is rupees 16 lakhs per month. Airport charges would be 2 lakh per month, while the salaries of the employees would come out to 4 lakhs per month. The other overheads are around rupees 1 lakh per month. So the helicopter uses 60 liters per hour. The cost of the fuel is 75 per liter. So I would like to estimate the minimum amount that our client would need to charge in order to break even. Our fixed costs come out to be roughly around 23 lakhs per month. So ये सब पूरा calculate करके 23 lakhs per month is the fixed cost. The cost of the fuel would depend on the number of trips that we would take in a day. So is there a fixed number of trips that we are? So no, why don't you calculate the optimum amount? So you mentioned that our heli air service would go to the two ends of the city. On taking a cab, it would take around 2 hours to reach. The helicopter would cover the distance in 1 hour. Since we only have one helicopter, we would need to alternate between the two ports. After completing one trip, we would need to have a break for both the pilot and the helicopter. Thus, I would like to assume that we can complete the whole trip in 2.5 hours and be ready for the next one. So he says, go ahead. So we can complete 4 round trips per day. The helicopter would be in use for 8 hours. Thus, the cost comes out to be 36,000 per day. How many days in a month are we planning to operate it? So he says 25 days, say, right? So then the total cost would be roughly 9 lakhs per month. Thus, in order to break even, we would need at least rupees 32 lakhs per month from the passengers. We have a total of 100 trips in a month. Can I assume the helicopter would accommodate around 4 people? Yes. So if we get 100% occupancy for all flight, we would need to charge the people rupees 8,000 per trip just to break even, which is a pretty high cost. I would like to do a sanity check in order to make sure that the number is in the right range. So the only heli service I know is of Vaishno Devi, which costs around rupees 1,100 for a 5-minute ride. Thus, it would be around rupees 13,200 for 60 minutes. However, since the fixed cost doesn't change with increase in length of trip, rupees 8,000 seems to be a good estimate. This, in contrast to taking a cab, would cost around rupees 800. Thus, they are paying 10 times the amount. In order for this to be a viable option, their time should be worth at least rupees 7,200 per hour. This is true only for very rich people who can actually buy their own helicopter and who thus have no need for a service. Thus, I don't think it is a viable business. Right? So, guys, इससे क्या समझ में आया कि it's not about whether मतलब सही बोला गलत बोला, दैट्स नॉट द ऑब्जेक्टिव, लेकिन वो कैसे ब्रेक कर रहा है द प्राइसिंग वाला एस्पेक्ट को, कैसे हाउ is breaking it into fixed cost, variable cost, how the structure is flowing, cost elements में क्या क्या रहेगा, समझ रहे हो? तो ऐसा नहीं कि वो जो बोल रहा है वही सही है, उसके लिए मतलब इट नीड्स अ डिटेल्ड अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ थिंग्स, बट देन एक मोटा मोटा उसका जो फ्लो ऑफ थॉट है, मतलब ऐसा एक बंदा, इफ यू आर द से द रिक्रूटर इंटरव्यू एंड द सॉर्ट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस यू आर प्लेसिंग एंड द वे द पर्सन रिस्पोंडिंग, ऐसा अगर कोई रिस्पॉन्ड करेगा तुम उसको लोगे कि नहीं लोगे? नौकरी में लोगे कि नहीं लोगे? है ना? सो दैट आंसर योर क्वेश्चन कि ऐसा थॉट प्रोसेस होना चाहिए. ऑब्वियसली ये एक दिन में होगा नहीं, इट्स अ प्रैक्टिस. सो द मोर यू आर गेटिंग इनटू दैट, जितना एनालिसिस वाला चीज में दिमाग लगाओगे उतना ये स्किल सेट बिल्ड होगा. ऑब्वियसली इट वुड बिल्ड ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, राइट? कि मतलब इट्स सॉर्ट ऑफ फ्लो चार्ट, टक 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 टक, इसलिए मतलब दैट वे इट शुड वर्क. बट देन ये हो जाता है वंस यू आर लुकिंग एट थिंग्स एट अ बिजनेस लेवल, मतलब बिजनेस कॉन्टेक्स्ट में जब सोच आएगा तो देन यू कैन, ये सब चीज इजी हो जाता है बहुत. It happens over a period of time, right? Thought process of business, man. Guys, मजा आ रहा है? कुछ सीखने को मिल रहा है? मैंने जो बोला था कि मैं तो बहुत लिख दिया कि इंडिया का फर्स्ट टाइम ऐसा कुछ होगा, तो सही बोला कि नहीं बोला भाई? राइट? नो वन इज स्पीकिंग अबाउट ऑल दिस थिंग्स. मतलब तुम पूरा मतलब कहीं पर भी देख लो, आई कम फ्रॉम रिसर्च बैकग्राउंड, तो मैं कुछ भी अपना जब मैंने प्रोग्राम भी डिजाइन किया, आई हैव रिसर्च एवरीथिंग व्हाट इज देयर इन द इंडियन मार्केट. कौन क्या दे रहा है, मुझे सबका कितना क्या लेवल पे कौन क्या दे रहा है सब पता है. बिकॉज आई कम फ्रॉम रिसर्च बैकग्राउंड, दैट्स द फर्स्ट थिंग आई ऑब्वियसली डू, राइट? So that's the reason I know कि क्या हो रहा है क्या नहीं हो रहा है, and this set of things are really something uh, Abhishek is saying yes, interesting है काफी. Yeah, no bookish. Yeah, already planning a new startup. So Abhishek कौन सा वो ये हेलीकॉप्टर वाला हेलीकॉप्टर का स्टार्टअप बना हुआ है क्या कलकत्ता में? Had I met you before I Jaydeep said had I met you before I won't have gone for MBA. नहीं भाई, ये सब थियोरी देखो, पढ़ाई लिखाई, आई एम नॉट डिनाइंग द फैक्ट कि पढ़ाई लिखाई जरूरी नहीं है. आई एम नॉट वन ऑफ दोज हु सेज कि सब बेकार है, जो टीचर ने पढ़ाया सब बेकार है, स्कूल में कॉलेज में जाना ही नहीं चाहिए. आई डोंट से दैट, बट व्हाट आई से कि ये टीचर बट जो भी स्ट्रक्चर है, जो भी उन लोग का, देखो तुम कोई पोजीशन में नहीं पहुंचते हो ना, तो उन लोग का क्या प्रॉब्लम है यू डोंट अंडरस्टैंड. ठीक है, तो दे मस्ट बी हैविंग देयर ओन रीजंस. बट दो चीज ऑब्वियसली होता है कि कहीं पे मुझे लगता है 60-70% लेके जाके स्टूडेंट को छोड़ देता है. वो जो 30% जो प्रैक्टिकल अंडरस्टैंडिंग दे के छोड़ना चाहिए ताकि वो एम्प्लॉयबल हो, वो 30% का गैप रह जाता है. एंड आई एम ट्राइंग टू फिल अप दैट गैप फॉर यू गाइज. क्योंकि 60-70% ऑब्वियसली तुमको अगर एबीसीडी पता नहीं है तो तुम मतलब आज यू गाइज आर एबल टू रिलेट टू थिंग्स बिकॉज यू हैव सम सॉर्ट ऑफ थोड़ा पढ़ाई लिखाई करके आए हो, राइट? तो ये सब चीज एक बार समझा दोगा तो तुम लोग कड़क करके उसको पकड़ लोगे. लेकिन कोई अगर तुमको दिखाया भी नहीं, बोला भी नहीं, इसको लेके डिस्कशन ही नहीं किया, तो that's not your fault, right? That is the system's fault. The system is not really teaching you. And what is the constraint of the system, I don't know. So they must be having their own set of challenges. लेकिन ये जो सब गाइडलाइंस वाला पॉलिसी इश्यूज हो जाता है ना, ये बहुत बड़ा प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है. मतलब टीचर लोगों के लिए सब खत्म करना, they must be having their own. So the first webinar of yours that I'm attending, this I know if it is possible to watch. Priyanka, previous, I don't keep a this thing of recording of the stuff. Keep on joining. So there would be certain webinars which I would be doing it multiple times. तो उस समय join करना. काम लिखा sir, but value wise, these all not given. Even comes for paying fees. True. Cryptocurrency exchange. Okay. Okay. गाइस आज के दिन एक बिटकॉइन कितना प्राइस में चल रहा है? एनी आइडिया? एक बिटकॉइन किसी ने मुझे बोला, सी आई डोंट कीप ट्रैक ऑफ दिस, कुछ 45 lakhs या कुछ किसी ने बोला. यू वोंट बिलीव, आई गॉट इंट्रोड्यूस्ड टू बिटकॉइन बाय अ 19-year-old गाय समवेयर इन 2014 और 15. और वो बंदे ने, वो मेरा एक इंटरव्यू लेने आया था. हाँ, कुछ क्वेश्चन पूछ रहा था. वेरी नाइस गाय. तो वो मुझे, मतलब उसने एक बिटकॉइन मुझे दिया था. हाँ, तब तो कुछ, मतलब कुछ कम पैसे का था, तो मैंने तो उसको भाव ही नहीं दिया उस समय. आई डिडंट रियली रियलाइज द पोटेंशियलिटी ऑफ दैट. तो उसने वो बिटकॉइन भेजा भी था. और आई हैव नॉट, मतलब वो कहाँ पे है आई डोंट नो अभी तक. बट सो दैट इज व्हाट द चैलेंज इज, यू नो. अब वो अगर मिल जाता है तो इतना पैसा हो सकता है. सो आई डोंट नो. I'm trying to reach out to this guy. Let's see. Uh, uh, thanks, Dolly. So, कोई बोला है 28 लाख, कोई बोला है 38 lakhs. ये भी वेरी करता है क्या अलग अलग इसका? आई डोंट नो. ओ अभिषेक, यू हैड परचेज इन 2009. बाबा तुम तो मतलब. अभिषेक प्लान सम रिसर्च टीम on crypto. So guys, there is a guy called Ajit Khurana. So this guy, I had met him in Mumbai, and he is one of the guys who has come up with startup around cryptocurrency. हाँ, तो I had attended one of his sessions in context of something different, but he is अभी Facebook में काफी ad दे रहा है, and he is coming up with a this thing around cryptocurrency. तो I am going to attend with my son. 19th को कुछ हो रहा है. So if you guys are interested, you can join that guy because he really knows the subject well. Huh? So just if you want to follow this guy, you can do it. अजीत खुराना नाम है इसका. How did he provide Bitcoin? No, not in physical form, निशांत. उसने कुछ तो मुझे मेल के ऊपर भेजा था, जो हल्का हल्का मुझे याद आ रहा है. ईश्वर, पहले ये नॉलेज तो ले लो, फिर देखेंगे कैसे, फिर देखते हैं. अजित खुराना is master, yeah. So you know him, right, Abhishek? He's also famous, right? Yeah, was ये मुझे पता चला. Yesterday only I got read about this. चलो, so let's move forward. So the next aspect which we are going to discuss is on market entry, right? So we have seen the profitability part, cost reduction. We have seen this thing, your pricing. Now we are getting into the market entry part of it. So market entry में क्या होता है? So a market entry case is where whether new product launch or entry into new geography or both is hinged in two basic questions. Is it worthwhile entering the market economically and strategically? And if yes, what would be the best way to enter the market, right? So these are the primary two questions that gets to be important. So over here, so if you want a framework around the market entry, so what are the set of things you need to understand? Is the new market entry में मतलब कंपनी का विजन क्या है? What is the goal? What is the objective? Then customer new market के लिए what are, you need to understand the segments, the needs of the customer, the profiling of the customer, size and growth of the market, client's target market share, on the product front, customer expectation, available products, identify gaps of the above two, right? In context of products and customer expectation. In context of the company, the product offerings, resources, capital, technology, labor, strength and strategic assets, market share. In context of industry, competitor and shares, SWOT analysis, barrier to entry, exit, our estimate of market share, right? We're entering strategy, if yes, how, start from scratch, or we are going to acquire some company or get into joint venture, or if the decision is no, then it stops over there, right? So ये एक मोटा मोटा framework है, we on the, these are the lines on which you have to think when any discussion comes around market entry, right? So अब दूसरा मार्केट एंट्री में एक सबसेट है, दैट इज द न्यू प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च. सो न्यू प्रोडक्ट लॉन्च में क्या होता है? In a new product entry case, a company is likely to aim for introducing a completely new product in the market or expand its existing products, reach in new geography. Interview is expected to first align on the product's viability to succeed in the market, followed by identifying the correct price point and target market, and finally recommends levers that can drive product success in the market, right? So इसमें स्ट्रक्चर क्या है? So suppose if a new product introduction हुआ है, right? So what is the initial investment in that? So whether it's self finance or debt finance or equity finance, what is going to be the established value chain for that? What is going to be the production challenge, distribution challenge, marketing challenge, right? From a profit and break even point perspective, what about the units sold, price per unit, variable cost, fixed cost? So these are the matlab, pointers on which you need to think and ask questions and deliberate and discuss, right? So these are the frameworks. So in context of the key question that you need to ask is, what is the purpose of the new product introduction? Capture increased market share or enter into a new business line, profits or build brand? Or how big is the market for the product? Any barriers to entry? How does the competitive landscape look like? Segments in the target population, initial investment, expected payback period, right? So what is the price at which product can be introduced? So these are the set of questions that gets to be important, right? So let us do another case where this is say HBS. I'm not saying Harvard Business School, but say something of that nature, right? So they are trying to say introduce a satellite campus in India, right? So how the discussion may unfold. So HBS wants to set up a new satellite campus in India. They want your advice about the proposal. So what is the primary objective of the school in setting up the new campus? The mission of HBS is to educate leaders who make a difference in the world. They want to increase their impact. So is it safe to assume that the target audience would be young Indians? Actually, that is a bad assumption. If so happens that HBS wants this campus to be international like the one in Boston. Having said that, the college does expect the proportion of Indians in the batch to increase. The motivation would be to expand their current capacity of the program in that case. And also, what is the timeline they are aiming to set up the campus? So that is correct, and they want to set up it 5 years. I hope it's clear up till now, right? So to evaluate the market entry, I would want to look at the aspects under the three major heads: opportunity analysis, feasibility, and viability. So in opportunity analysis, I would like to look at the market size and the market share that we can capture. In the feasibility, I would analyze the barriers to entry and analyze the feasibility of setting up the value chain. In viability, I would analyze if it would make economic sense in the long run and also see for any risk, right? So to do this, I would look at the current demand for the HBS course and would use that to estimate the demand for the new campus. As far as I know, I believe top US schools like HBS receive around 10,000 applicants every year for their MBA program. Those would automatically be our target market. However, I believe a proportion of them would not be interested in studying at the Indian campus due to the preference of the US market. Do you have some data about their preferences? So there is a good approach. Let us assume that 50% of the applicants are interested in studying at the Indian campus as well. Can you estimate the rough size? Ignore affordability as a concern for now. तो बोला affordability को लेके अभी चिंता मत करो. Okay, so I just want to add that I would also want to look at the additional Indian students that we can capture because of the lower cost of the program vis-a-vis the Boston one. So I'll use the CAT enrollments as a proxy for estimating the demand. So around 2 lakh students apply for CAT to do their MBA. Let us assume 1% would meet the HBS criteria, that is 2,000 students. This means that the market is significant. However, the competition is another factor that I would want to look at. Can you give me some more information about the competitive scenario? So the satellite campus would face competition from primarily two sources. One would be the global schools setting up campus in India. Currently, that is not a potent threat. The other is from IIMs and ISV. I believe HBS would have an edge over Indian schools as the global exposure and the brand value that it would offer would give it a clear competitive advantage. However, I would like to look at feasibility. The factors that I would look are the regulatory barriers and the feasibility of establishing the value chain. For that, I would want to know if there are any regulatory restrictions in India, right? So the regulation in India prevent any institution that is not AICT approved from giving a degree. Compliance with AICT guidelines would dilute the HBCS curriculum. In that case, HBS would not go for AICT approval. It won't be able to offer a degree, but I don't think that will be a constraint. ISB has a similar model and is successful. The other factor would be the ability to set up the value chain. The key facets would be the teachers and land for the campus. Initial teachers might need to travel from parent campus. The rent for the campus would be a challenge and would increase cost. Good. So what else do you want to look at? I would next look at viability. In terms of financial viability, I'm assuming pricing will remain same as the parent campus to maintain parity. However, the additional cost due to the land and teacher travel would drive up the cost. Additionally, there would be risk due to the lack of acceptance of India as a study destination among international students. Hence, I suggest against the proposal. So he says, thanks. That would be all. Thank you. It was a pleasure meeting you. Right. So this is a sort of a discussion that unfolds between the interviewer and the interviewee. Right. So again, nothing right, wrong, nothing of that sort. But then how you approach to this entire discussion, how everything uh, like you have to give a perspective. भाई मैं कुछ sensible बात कर रहा हूँ और अलग अलग चीज जो मुझे सोचना चाहिए ये चीज के ऊपर guys I'm giving you मतलब key nuggets to all the things right तो तुम लोग को मैंने स्ट्रक्चर दे दिया वो स्ट्रक्चर में अंदर में क्या क्या देखना है मैं सब दे दिया तो तुम लोग को मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टेंट तो अभी बनना ही है ना सो सो और बन भी जाओगे इफ यू गाइस आर रियली इंटरेस्टेड सो सो बहुत मजा आया बॉस तो guys, was it interesting? Give me a quick A in the chat box. मतलब इतना within the constraint of time इतना तक ही मैं कर सकता हूँ मतलब I know I'm going a bit fast but then the objective of this webinars as I say is just to give you a flavor right thanks guys thanks for Vinay thanks for so many A's क्या नाम रखे हो अमित बच्चे का none of my faculty this Nanesh don't worry मतलब ऐसा कुछ नहीं faculty के बारे में कुछ मत बोलो they have always high regards for your faculties सबका कंस्टेंट होता है कोई कुछ सीखा है कहीं पे कोई किसी को एक्सपोजर मिला है कहीं पे so that's okay right Ved okay great name good ठीक है so तो अभी तक हम लोग ने काफी कुछ सीखा राइट और सीखते हैं चलो so from a overall structure framework so this is how the discussion unfolded कि opportunity feasibility viability उसमें रिस्क एस्पेक्ट क्या है फाइनेंशियल वायबिलिटी क्या है प्राइसिंग क्या है कॉस्ट क्या है फिजिबिलिटी में मार्केट शेयर रेगुलेटरी बैरियर्स वैल्यू चेन market size so this is basically the framework which this got discussed so now the next one is growth strategy right so growth strategy mein kya hota hai so in a growth scenario a company is likely to aim for X% year on year growth an interviewee is expected to first align the growth targets followed by validating them identify pillars that can support the growth targets and finally recommend how the company can leverage or show go uh, about these pillars right so how to move ahead in this तो इसमें the framework is something like this. So say the grow the sales by 20% 1 year, if that's the objective. So explore existing business. दो ही चीज हो सकता है, नया business या पुराना business, right? So existing business में volume increase or increase prices, it or contingent on elasticity, price elasticity, right? And if it's increasing volume, then increase customers, increase basket size, right? So uh, and explore new business में, new geography of market, increase product line, diversify into new products and services, acquisitions, mergers. तो ग्रोथ स्ट्रेटेजी का पूरा जो गेम है इसी पे क्या हिंदी में क्या बोलते हैं इसको, समेटा हुआ, लाइक सॉरी मुझे थोड़ा, जस्ट लेट मी नो इन द चैट बॉक्स व्हाट शुड बी द राइट वर्ड इन हिंदी, समा हुआ है, जस्ट लेट मी नो. सो So the key questions over here is, what is the expected growth of the industry? Are we targeting growth more less on par with that? Do we have existing capacity in the plant's services to meet the increased volume, or would investments need to be made? What is the price elasticity in the market? Are there any barriers to entry into the new areas? Number and type of competition, market share, effect of substitutes and complements, right? So these would be the major questions. Products of scope with the existing product line we have. So this would be the thing. And in growth also, there this is the other side of it which comes under the broader head of growth strategy, is diversification. तो उसमें diversification में क्या होता है? In a diversification case, the key is to understand the need to diversify. So only after that it is possible to ascertain the soundness of the strategy proposed. The case may often require out of the box thinking, and due to the large number of varied factors that could affect or be affected by a particular form of diversification, breadth of coverage is generally considered to be more important than depth, right? तो इसमें फ्रेमवर्क कैसा रहेगा? सो डाइवर्सिफाई अगर होगा तो, अगर इफ इट इज इन कॉन्टेक्स्ट ऑफ द करंट बिजनेस, रीजन एंड नीड फॉर डाइवर्सिफिकेशन, व्हाट कोर कॉम्पिटेंसी यू आर looking forward to in context of diversification. In context of market structure, you need to understand around competition, regulation, sizing, trends, synergy. So if you are diversifying into new areas, so how the synergistic benefit you would be getting, what is the cost benefit that you would be reaching to, right? So these are the broader aspects in context of diversification. So the key questions is, what are your current capabilities? What are the future capabilities we want to have? Does diversification to the new company help us achieve those objectives? What are the expected revenue streams, expected cost of diversification, any barriers to entry during diversification? So these are the aspects. So over here, so let's take an example, right? So the client over here is an ice cream push cart vendor in Ahmedabad. He believes that due to the scorching summers, there is tremendous potential in the ice cream market. He now wants to expand his business, suggest a growth strategy for him, right? So that is the case that's been placed across. So you say, I'd like to confirm if I have understood all the critical aspects of the client situation. I'm assuming that our client, the push cart vendor, can only cover a small area at present, but would like to cover a large area and attract more customers. Your assumption is correct. Okay, I would like to understand, how does this expansion affect his inventory? Could you confirm if he manufactures his own ice cream or is it sourced from a distributor? So the client sells vanilla ice cream and sources it from a distributor. That helps. The availability of ice cream won't be an important factor for the expansion. Next, I would like to understand the competitive landscape in this industry. So there aren't many ice cream vendors in Ahmedabad. However, there are quite a few corner shops and supermarkets that sell ice cream. So that helps. One of the major strengths of our client against his competitor is his ability to move around and distribute the product. However, I believe that due to the nature of the inventory, these ice creams combined with hot weather may lead to more pilferage. So you can assume that the pilferage due to pushkas is not significant as compared to sales. So, so in that case, the client can increase his sales in two ways, either by increasing the revenue per user or increasing the number of customers. So I think the first option can be achieved by adding additional cost charges to the original price. However, for an inelastic commodity like ice cream, this may not be feasible, as people would just go to corner stores if they believe that they can get a better price. Also, ice creams are an undifferentiated product and the price is set by the manufacturer, Vadilal in this case, and thus high margins may not be possible. Therefore, the first option of increasing the revenue per user has quite limited scope. So moving to the second option of increasing the number of customers, this can be done either by entering different regions of Ahmedabad or by increasing sales in the current area. May I ask how much growth is the client aiming for? Does he have the capital to expand into other areas? You may assume that client has limited capital, which allows him to expand to other areas. In that case, expanding to other regions is a better idea since it provides access to more customers, right? So that is how the discussion is getting unfolded. So sounds reasonable. So how do you suggest the client expand his business to other regions? So there are two ways in which the client can expand to other regions, either by introducing more push carts or by opening a chain of ice cream parlors across different areas. Okay, so what option do you think is more feasible? Since the client is a small vendor who has experience with push carts, I think he should go with the former option of introducing more push carts in other areas. This option would instantly give him access to huge new customer base. This option is also less capital intensive as compared to the other option of opening ice cream parlors and requires considerable less investments in fees assets. So introducing new push carts in different regions sounds like a reasonable option. Can you quickly help me understand how would you determine how many new push cards would need to be introduced? Becomes a mini guesstimate now. I was speaking about guesstimate, right? So interviewers calculate tables similar to one of the next page. I would segment the entire area of Ahmedabad based on a rough estimation of income. So depending on this, I would introduce push cards in different areas, sectors, colonies. So more push cards would be introduced in affluent areas or areas with a targeted customer base, such as near schools, right? So the client can introduce 850 push cards in total across Ahmedabad. So when this discussion happens, so you can have a pen and paper. You may ask the person, just give me some time so that I can do my own calculation. So the person would definitely give you some time to do this analysis. So after deciding on the possible number of push cards that can be introduced, I would additionally analyze the expenses involved in running one push card and match this against the total capital that the client is willing to invest after discounting for working capital requirements. So I think the analysis is sufficiently thorough. We can stop here, right? So this is the way, guys, it unfolds. So the framework which is discussed is something like this. So increase revenue per user, increase number of customers, increase usage per year, increase price, whether they're going into cross-selling, loyalty programs, bulk and other discounts. So those are not the areas they're moving into. They are moving into the increased number of customers. So new markets, existing markets. In the existing markets, they are thinking of improving channels and newer geographies, new markets beyond current area and customer segments. So that is how they're moving into, right? So this is how the discussion unfolds, right? So guys, was it good? Did you got the sense about it? Samaya, yeah, Samaya, right. कैसे डाइवर्सिफिकेशन एंड ग्रोथ स्ट्रेटेजी वाला अगर ये हो तो how it all builds into, ठीक है? मजा आया बॉस. I am done for the day. So I've given you the broader heads and all the different aspects on which one is to think into, and the subheads and how the flow of discussion unfolds in a management consulting interview. And once you are able to take the person through in all this set of things, मक्खन हो जाता है एकदम. नौकरी मिल गया. My mind works like this. So Abhishek, try for management consulting then if you think this your mind works like this. That's really good, right? So I hope you are getting this message loud and clear, guys. कि investment banking हो, management consulting हो, जो भी हो, ये पूरा business और finance का. Now you may take this discussion obviously. मतलब ये बंदा जब ये पूरा planning करेगा, तो obviously इसका financial तो देखना पड़ेगा कि जब when if it's a real case तो obviously उसका जो financial effect है उसको भी study किया जाएगा कि पूरा क्या होके था, तो तब वो मॉडल बनाना पड़ेगा. तो but as I keep on saying, that is only one part of the work, है ना? इसके पीछे जो आगे जो ये पूरा एनालिसिस होता है, once you get that clarity, मॉडल 2 4 10, मैं जितने सारे मॉडल मेरे कोर्स में दिया हूं, तुम लोग अगर वो मॉडल, if you take the trouble of building those, roughly I think 20 models I've shared across in my entire IB suite. If you build those 20 models, तुम कभी मॉडल लेके तुमको कोई टेंशन नहीं होगा. That much I can tell you. ठीक है? तो मॉडल तो एक दिन ना एक दिन वो स्किल बिल्ड हो जाएगा, लेकिन ये जो बिजनेस एनालिसिस वाला जो चीज है, that is something that is going to differentiate you from the rest of the guys, right? uh, it was out of the box session. Thanks, Payal. Sample questions on this, Rajesh. देखते सोचते, मतलब ये तो आई जस्ट प्रिपेयर्ड माई सेल्फ फॉर ओनली फॉर दिस, बिकॉज एज ए सेड मैं मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग का कोई प्रोग्राम डिजाइन नहीं किया, दो आई आई हैव दिस इंटरेस्ट फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम, और मुझे लगता है कि इट्स मतलब लोगों को हवा ही नहीं है, और देयर इज नो प्रोग्राम एज सच जहाँ पे ये सब सिखाया जाता है, और बहुत बहुत जरूरी है, मतलब देखते हैं क्या होता है. Course on management consulting to happen says, Naresh, you're feeling confident to get job, बस वही तो, that is what my objective is. That's how to develop rational thinking in terms of also amortization. Rational thinking सभी का ये ऐसा करके सोचो, मतलब कोई भी तुम देखो ना, तुम्हारा आसपास जो भी एक बिजनेस है, कोई भी बिजनेस पकड़ो, एक जेरोक्स का दुकान है, तो वो बिजनेस को कैसे बढ़ाओगे? तो तुम देखोगे कि तो बढ़ाना मतलब ग्रोथ स्ट्रेटेजी में फिर ऐसा इसको तोड़ो, तुमको मैंने फ्रेमवर्क दे दिया, उस हिसाब से सोचो. तुम जब अप्लाई करोगे उसको, कोई भी बिजनेस, एक से एक मोमो का दुकान, ठीक है, मोमो मोमो बिकता है वहां पे, सो हाउ यू थिंक यू कैन इंक्रीज द बिजनेस ऑफ दैट शॉप, राइट? सो थिंक यू वंस यू, देखो ये स्ट्रक्चर है सोचने का. आई हैव गिवन यू द स्केलेटन, राइट? if once you've got this structure, अभी उसके ऊपर तुमको अप्लाई करना है, and the more you apply, the more you start thinking. rational thinking एक दिन में तो नहीं होगा. the more it's like, मतलब जितना तुम ड्राइविंग प्रैक्टिस करोगे, you'll be a better driver. So similarly, the more you think on these lines, you take up business cases. दिन में आधा घंटा ऐसा अलग अलग बिजनेसेस का सोचो, फिर तुम लोग को मैंने आइडिया दिया, बिजनेस प्लान बनाओ लोगों का. लास्ट डे मैंने उस डिस्कशन किया, लोगों को जाके बोलो कि भाई तुझसे पैसा नहीं चाहिए, मैं तुमको कंसल्टिंग करूंगा. शुरू हो जाओ, घुस जाओ, मतलब उसमें जस्ट डाइव इन. तुम तो पैसा नहीं ले रहे हो, तो ऐसा तो कुछ नहीं है कि कल कुछ नहीं हुआ तो वो आदमी गाली देगा, राइट? so you have no problems, but if you are able to really solve the issue of that individual, so you will get confidence. You can set your own management consulting. ये कौन मना कर रहा है? मैं किसी को नहीं बोलता हूँ कि जिंदगी भर तुम नौकरी करो. Think about starting something at a point of time in your life, if you have that entrepreneurial this thing, एक थोड़ा वो वाला mindset है, right? So that is the way you should go about doing it. This is the profitability, price and growth strategy, please. Sumit, I'll just take you through. Just hold for a minute. Let me answer the questions. Join your sessions for the first time from Melbourne. Is it 3 a.m. now? Here it was what in. Okay, Kriti, great. 3 a.m. Okay, over there. So great to know that it added value to you. So just attend my other webinars as well if it's not a major challenge for you. I'm sure you are going to get a lot of value. Saurav says your next Peter Dragon. नहीं भाई, मतलब जमीन में रखो, ऐसा कुछ पीटर ड्रगर पकड़ नहीं है. way of important apart the small effects all guide us. Thoda, I would obviously thanks Amit for your kind words. So my only request would be please spread across the word. जो मैं कर रहा हूँ, it should reach to more and more people. It really pains me when I see so few people really joining. You know, मतलब जो चीज मैं कर रहा हूँ, I know it everything takes time, but I would really, if you guys are getting value, please spread a word across to people, because ये बहुत जरूरी है. और ऐसा मत सोचो कि कोई दूसरा सीख जाएगा तो तुमको नौकरी नहीं मिलेगा. ये 130 करोड़ का जनता का ये है. इनफैक्ट जहाँ पे दुकान एक तरीके का होता है ना, वो बहुत सारे और भी दुकान वही सेम, जैसे गोल्ड का दुकान है तो पर एक के बाद एक अगर गोल्ड का दुकान होता है तो वो मार्केट अच्छा बनता है और फिर डिमांड बढ़ता है, उससे घटता नहीं है. So spread across word, bring your friends and whoever is interested, because फिर तुमको भी मजा आएगा. कल 2-4 जन मिलके एकदम शुरू कर दो बिजनेस. ऐसा बहुत बहुत जरूरी है. और मतलब ये सबको मैकिन्जे में काम करना नहीं है, और सबको मतलब you can start own. पूरा सपोर्ट मिलेगा मुझसे, तुम लोग को जो भी चाहिए जितना मैं दे सकता हूँ, राइट? सो डोंट वरी। सो जस्ट मतलब अभी थोड़ा ये से काम करो, मतलब कि कॉन्फिडेंस लेके काम करो। मतलब क्या देखता हूँ मैं, काफी जन ना मतलब डर डर के काम करता है, हर दिन नौकरी में जाता है डरा हुआ कि नौकरी ना चला जाए, बॉस क्या बोलेगा। अरे बहुत अपॉर्चुनिटी है, मतलब अभी एकदम दशन से काम करो और ये सब अप्लाई करो अपने काम की जगह पे, एंड आई एम श्योर इट्स गोइंग टू हैव अ, मतलब वो बॉस को खड़ा कर दो एकदम कि भाई तू बॉस होने का मेरा ये नहीं है, मतलब बोलो नहीं, मतलब ऐसा करो कि मतलब बॉस बॉस भी ऊपर उठे और तुम्हारे लिए भी जगह खाली हो, राइट? सो दैट इज हाउ आई हैव आल्सो सेट स्टोन्स इन इन माय लाइफ। मेरा ऐसा बॉस होता था, मतलब जब बोलना नहीं चाहिए मतलब, लेकिन ऑब्जेक्टिव वाज नॉट टू ये उसको हटाना नहीं, लेकिन when you are in the groove, right, when you are really performing well, वो आदमी और उसको पता है कि ये वैल्यू नहीं डिलीवर कर पा रहा है, तो आदमी वैसे ही हट जाता है, and you get onto that place. But then for all these set of things, you have to have that material in you, right? So you should be confident, you should go and really impress upon people. सो माय ऑब्जेक्टिव इज, एक तो है कि तुम लोग को अच्छा नौकरी मिले। अच्छा नौकरी किसको बोला बोला जाता है, करियर क्या बोला जाता है, उसमें के लिए क्या सीखना चाहिए, ये मेरा एक ऑब्जेक्टिव है। और आज भी जो काम कर रहे हो वहां पर भी फैल जाओ एकदम, मतलब हम है बाकी पानी कम है, वो सुनना अच्छा नहीं लगता है, बट कुछ जगह पे यू हैव टू बी कॉम्पिटिटिव एंड रियली प्रेस योरसेल्फ हार्ड कि बस आई एम देयर, आई नो माय स्टफ वेल, एंड दैट्स द थिंग। उसके लिए obviously you should be in a continuous mode of learning and reskilling yourself. That has to be a process. The course is available. Rajesh, just wait, next week I'll be launching the, means I'll be placing across the IB course, so just wait for next week. Next similar webinar on INB and job opportunities. Priyanka, I have conducted this webinar ये topic के ऊपर, and I'll be conducting, in fact most of next week ही मैं करूँगा, so just keep in touch. This insane alumni, he had solved over 2,000 cases over 2 years. 1,000 cases. Okay. कहाँ पे अभी? Just let me know. Experience of the area, where do they differ actually? कुछ कुछ डिफर नहीं होता निशांत, इट्स ऑल अबाउट योर एप्लीकेशन ऑफ माइंड बियॉन्ड द पॉइंट ऑफ टाइम ना। वो मतलब जैसे होता है ना, एक 60 मेंबर का जो एक क्लास होता है, उसमें 68 जो रैंक करते हैं और फर्स्ट रैंक करते हैं, उसमें बहुत फर्क होता है, लेकिन जो सेकंड और फर्स्ट वाला उसमें शायद 1-2 नंबर का फर्क होता है, राइट? सो इट्स लाइक दैट। सो द मोर years of experience you go ahead, and that has been my belief, and that is आई स्ट्रांगली बिलीव कि बस जिस दिन मैं रिटायर करूंगा तब भी मुझे उस दिन भी कुछ नया नया सीखने को मिलेगा, लेकिन वो जो इंक्रीमेंटल लर्निंग जो एक दिन का रहेगा, आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड इन दैट। आई एम इंटरेस्टेड कि मैं 80% 90% नॉलेज कितना जल्दी ले लूं, एंड आई मूव इन टू द अदर एरिया, उसका 90% लो और जाओ, फिर 90% लो, rather than वो 10% के लिए मैं जिंदगी मतलब वेस्ट कर दूं एक ही लाइन में। That's how I have learned, and that's how I have been able to share across so many things with you guys. You're getting what I'm saying. I don't know whether you agree to what I'm saying. You may differ in your opinions, but that is how I think कि भाई मुझे वो 10%, क्योंकि तुम थोड़ा दिन काम करोगे ना, तुम 80-90% सीख जाओगे if you are focused into that. फिर वो 10% सीखने के लिए तुम जिंदगी भर उसी चीज में पड़े रहोगे, तो I don't think it's worth it. इनफैक्ट मेरा वो मजा आता था कि इसमें 80-90% सीखा, उसमें 80-90%, और उसमें कहा इंटर माने कनेक्टिविटी है, overlying layers क्या है, how everything is getting connected. So that's why I've created the entire program by myself, so that जब मैं क्रेडिट रेटिंग का बात कर रहा हूँ, क्रेडिट एनालिसिस का बात कर रहा हूँ, तो क्रेडिट रेटिंग कैसे वीव होता है उसमें, और ये अगर मैं बात कर रहा हूँ तो प्रोजेक्ट फाइनेंस के साथ कैसे वीव होता है। सो इफ यू नो दैट इंटरवीविंग अमंग वेरियस थिंग्स ना, दैट गिव्स यू अनदर लेवल ऑफ पावर। लेकिन तुम सिर्फ एक ही एरिया का तुमको पता है और दूसरे एरियाज का एकदम जीरो पता है, तो you cannot really show that differentiating, and this is how you get to be different from the rest of the guys. एक बंदा सिर्फ एक ही एरिया में काम कर रहा है और दूसरा बंदा 4-5 चीज लेके उसका क्रॉस पोलिनेशन किया है, so that really makes a lot of difference. That's why my belief is so. And which module? Sarika. So each Sarika, each program has their own set of models. Equity research में model से, project financing में model से, financial modeling में model से, valuation में model से, सब में है. Ratio for lending standards. I would love your suggestion for an extensive report of over 500 crores disbursal annually. Sudeep, phone करो ना. Just call me sometime. Let's chat. Connect over call. Startup idea. अभिषेक करो, फोन करो, कल करो. Use all the different models you had till share till now. Use all the different models. Good, Sudeep. I hope it helped you. All the different models. I hope. Do you have my 21 steps to be investor ready? So there is a program of mine called 21 steps to be investor ready, and it's my belief that it's one of the best startup. This thing, मतलब obviously मेरा videos अगर देखोगे तो it's not मतलब एनिमेशन दे के उसको फालतू खर्चा बढ़ाने का उसमें आई डोंट फोकस इन. लेकिन उसमें मैं जो चीज दिया हूँ राइट फ्रॉम आइडिएशन टिल एक बंदा पैसा रेस करने के लिए पूरा जो वो प्रोसेस होता है आई हैव गिवन एवरीथिंग एंड आई थिंक इट्स वन ऑफ द मतलब कोई ऐसा सिखा नहीं रहा है. That is my belief because whatever research I have been doing and I'm being in this year. So I don't know, Sudeep, do you have the access to that program? Just let me know. Rajesh, yeah, thanks. Permit me, can I talk? Yeah, Avi, you can definitely talk. Just a second. Have you got a message asked to? Yeah, Avi, bolo.
Sir, hello.
Yeah, tell me.
There is this YouTuber Akshat Srivastava.
Okay.
He is an inside alum, ex BCG, ex McKinsey. So he runs a startup, Cases Over Coffee.
Okay.
So he has same plan like providing cases, teaching and methodology. That's it.
Okay.
This is what I want to share.
Okay, good. So I am not aware of that person, but if someone is doing, that's great. इस चीज का बहुत जरूरत है. मतलब huge requirement of this set of discussion to happen because uh, see at every level, मतलब corporate strategy level पे at small, there are a lot of management consulting, medium size consulting firms बहुत है India में, and they are in real requirement of good people. So good if someone is taking direction in this regard. तो एक बार देखना the way I have taught you how he is teaching you, just check on that, right? So yeah, practical courses are explained in English or Hindi. विजय, इट्स ऑल इंग्लिश भाई. तुम मैनेजमेंट कंसल्टिंग इन्वेस्टमेंट बैंकिंग में नौकरी करोगे, वहां पे हिंदी में बात करोगे तो हो गया बस. There have been instances where some have spent hefty amount of management and later companies to get no balance. So what do you see for hiring manager? Nishant, see, obviously when you are recruiting, I mean to say not recruiting is not the right word, appointing someone, right? Some management consulting companies, you obviously do a thorough check in terms of what sort of activities they have done for other companies. You do some reference checks on that, and when you see, अभी तुम जो सीखे हो, the problem what happens is if you don't know anything, you don't know what questions to be asked, right? But if you know your stuff well, then you know what is expected out of the person, then you, on the basis of questions you ask, you will be able to understand whether the set of people are right or wrong, right? तो ये प्रॉब्लम होता है उन लोगों को जो जैसे डिजिटल मार्केटिंग इन टूडेज वर्ल्ड, मतलब सब डिजिटल एरिया में तो काम कर देता है, एक फेसबुक ऐड चला दिया, एक एसईओ कर दिया, लेकिन जो डिजिटल मार्केटिंग का मार्केटिंग एस्पेक्ट होता है जहाँ पे यू रियली नीड टू अंडरस्टैंड द कस्टमर डायनेमिक्स, कस्टमर सेंसेस, हाउ टू परसुएड पीपल, हाउ टू इन्फ्लुएंस पीपल, उसका कुछ आता नहीं है. सो बट देन वो तो आके बोलेगा मुझे डिजिटल मार्केटिंग पता है, आपको मैं फेसबुक ऐड करवा दूंगा, ये करवा दूंगा, वो करवा दूंगा, लेकिन इफ यू डोंट हैव दो सेंसिबिलिटीज, देन यू वुड अपॉइंट अ रॉन्ग पर्सन एंड फिर जाके उसका प्रॉब्लम तुमको झेलना पड़ेगा, right? So that's why you should know, right? You need to be aware of what needs to be known, and that is what I'm trying to place across to you guys. Once you know all this, you won't make those mistakes. In different stages, sure, would love to take it on this one day. Okay, Sudeep. Any company you know who have grown billions with an equity investment or bank loan funding? Uh, you mean to say bootstrap company? Zoho is a bootstrap company which is doing great, and it's they have not taken any funding as per my knowledge. That's the only name that is coming at this point of time in my mind. But you can always write over Google and say companies which are bootstrapped, $1 million companies which are bootstrapped. I'm pretty sure many names would come up. Yeah, Zerodha is one of them. Absolutely, Sumit. Zerodha is also it's a bootstrap company, right? Okay, Abhishek, do call Zoho Zerodha. Yeah, yeah. Right, guys. So I hope this 1 hour 50 minutes has been good for you. I hope you learned something, right? So finally, give me a quick A if everything was good, and if you have any feedbacks, please place it across as well, and try to take care next time. Or thanks, Rajesh. Thanks a lot, guys. तो और क्या टॉपिक के ऊपर यू गाइज वुड बी इंटरेस्टेड टू लर्न? ये तो मेरे जो जो लगता है तुम लोग को सीखना चाहिए. आई कीप ऑन प्लेसिंग इट. एनी थॉट्स ऑन विच जस्ट इफ यू कैन राइट इट डाउन, तो आई जो मुझे लगेगा कि हाँ ये सही बोल रहा है, तो आई नहीं बस ये स्टॉक मार्केट का तुम लोग का क्या ये है, मतलब सारा दुनिया स्टॉक मार्केट स्टॉक मार्केट स्टॉक मार्केट. स्टॉक मार्केट सीखोगे ठीक है, लेकिन तुमको अगर ये सब एनालिसिस नहीं आता है ना, तो यू वोंट डू जस्टिस टू द मार्केट में इन्वेस्ट करना. यू नो ट्रेडर का काम क्या होता है? एनी यू गाइस आर अवेयर एज टू व्हाट अ ट्रेडर डज? हाँ, जो डीलर होता है, डू गाइस हैव एन आइडिया व्हाट अ डीलर डज? क्रेडिट एनालिसिस. अमित, डीलर कॉन्टेक्स्ट में बोल रहे हो क्रेडिट एनालिसिस? देन I didn't get it. You should learn more about strategy and see job search. Okay, credit analysis topic के ऊपर. Sorry, I sometimes lose. Yeah, credit analysis is a good topic. Just let me write down. Yeah, just give me a minute. So credit analysis के ऊपर, which I missed out, which people need to know. Any resource to learn more about strategy. सारिका, जैसे मैं आई वॉन्ट यू टू लर्न, वैसे मुझे तो मिला नहीं, सो दैट्स व्हाई आई सेड नहीं है. तो सो आई रियली डोंट नो, मतलब इसमें कौन, आई रियली कैन नॉट. और ये क्या है ना, ये थोड़ा स्ट्रक्चर्ड अप्रोच ऑफ ये है, मतलब इसको थिक ये सब. वन थिंग आई वुड डेफिनेटली सजेस्ट यू गाइस, इफ यू कैन रीड दिस बुक ऑफ जो मैकेंजी के एक सीरीज ऑफ बुक्स आता है, ठीक है. आई फॉरगॉट द नेम्स, बट देन मेरे दिमाग में नाम नहीं आ रहा है, लेकिन वो बुक्स पढ़ो जो मैकेंजी का कंसल्टिंग, थोड़ा मैकेंजी प्लस कंसल्टिंग प्लस बुक बोल के देना ना गूगल में, आई एम श्योर द नेम्स वुड प्रॉप अप. हाँ, तो वो बुक्स बहुत अच्छा है, उसको पढ़ो. और एज आई से अबाउट मैकेंजी, एक चीज तुम लोग को एक चीज सिखाता हूँ. वुड यू बी इंटरेस्टेड? एक छोटा चीज जो मैकेंजी जो फॉलो करता है, एंड post that most of the consulting companies follow. How many of you know about this concept called okay, पहले मैं इसको लिख लूं, फिर ये कहता हूँ. राजेश, जॉब सर्च तो anyway is there, जॉब सर्च लेके मैंने वेबिनार किया है और करूंगा भी. Valuation was Sudeep, valuation is a total course altogether, but I will try to do something कुछ उसका अलग तरीका मैं डिस्कस करूंगा। मैं आई वोंट टीच यू द डिफरेंट टेक्निक्स ऑफ वैल्यूएशन, वैसा नहीं करूंगा, बट आई डू समथिंग डिफरेंट अराउंड वैल्यूएशन, क्योंकि वैल्यूएशन कैसे क्या है वो तो उसमें ये करोगे। शायद मुल्ला बाय एंड सेल स्टॉक तो नहीं करूंगा। तुम लोग को अगर इसके इफ यू नो द फंडामेंटल एनालिसिस के ऊपर मैं करूंगा, कुछ करना चाहता हूं, मतलब उसमें बाय एंड सेल वाला कॉन्टेक्स्ट आएगा। ट्रेंड्स एंड इन्वेस्टिंग, रिस्क एनालिसिस, इंटरव्यू स्ट्रेटजीज। सो जॉब सर्च इंटरव्यू कैसे देना चाहिए, व्हाट आर द थिंग्स यू हैव टू टेक केयर ऑफ, द सम वेरी कॉमन क्वेश्चंस दैट कम्स अप, तो उसको लेके मैं एक करूंगा। टेक्निकल बायस बिटवीन कंपनी एंड बायस, द्वैपन ये समझ में नहीं आया, ब्रिज बिटवीन कंपनी एंड बायस मतलब ये मैंने सोचता हूँ Tanmay, you joined my investment banking when I discuss around the investment banking floor or the investment banking industry क्या होता है, then I think you are joining for the first time maybe. So there I discuss all this, on business valuation risk, kind of McKinsey Mind, right. And it's not only McKinsey Mind, Amit, there are more books. हाँ ऐसा ही वैसे ही इसमें. So there is a concept which is very widely used, which is called Messi. Have anyone heard the term MECE? Messi? हाँ किसी ने सुना है? Just give me a yes or no in the chat box if you have heard this term. MECE. तुम लोग को ना मैं एक चीज करना चाहता हूं, आई वॉन्ट टू गिव यू सम लाइफ कोचिंग। लाइफ कैसे, क्योंकि सब कुछ कर लोगे और ये सब चीज में सक्सेस ना नहीं होगे अगर कुछ बेसिक लाइफ एस्पेक्ट्स पे तुम लोग को ज्ञान ना मिले तो, which I have got at a very later stage of my life, and I regret that why I didn't get it when I was at my teens, so लेकिन अगर सिर्फ उसी के ऊपर बोलता रहूंगा तो बहुत कुछ बोलने का है, एंड आई इट वुड साउंड वेरी ये, तो मैं सोच रहा हूँ मैं क्या करूँ, एक टॉपिक के हर दिन एक छोटा टॉपिक रखूंगा एट द एंड। हाँ जिसको सुनना है सुनेगा, नहीं सुनना है चला जाएगा, लेकिन आई एम श्योर इट्स गोइंग टू हैव अ डीप इन्फ्लुएंस इन समवन सक्सेस, क्योंकि हर चीज माइंड से शुरू होता है, और माइंड ही अगर ठीक नहीं है ना तो कुछ भी ये नहीं होगा, nothing is going to work out, right? So that is something which I would definitely be eager to, which I got at a very later stage of my life. No, so yes, instrument is a must. Halfway through the course, I can assure the knowledge. Thanks, Moise. तो मेसी किसी ने नहीं सुना, तो सिर्फ 4 जन आंसर किया है, कितने जन है अभी तक? 37 में सिर्फ आई गॉट रिप्लाई फ्रॉम 4। भाई यस नो भी नहीं लिखोगे तो क्या कंसल्टिंग में काम करोगे, आईबी में काम करोगे, इसलिए लाइफ कोचिंग का ज्ञान देना बहुत जरूरी है ना गेट्स right right thanks a lot guys. So Messi is Nishan do also teach what 4 क्या है, बस मुझे सिखाओ थोड़ा, यार कर्म योगी फॉरेक्स, या फॉरेक्स में तो बहुत ज्ञान दे सकता हूं मैं, मतलब फॉरेक्स, एलसी, अगर तुमको ट्रेड फाइनेंस का समझ होना, इफ यू गाइस आर इंटरेस्टेड, मैं एक दिन, ठीक है तुम लोग को ट्रेड फाइनेंस, दो आई डोंट टीच एंड जॉब्स इन ट्रेड फाइनेंस इज वेरी लिमिटेड, बट वो नॉलेज होना खराब नहीं है, इट्स ऑलवेज गोइंग टू ऐड वैल्यू टू यू, सो आई विल डू दैट समडे, ट्रेड फाइनेंस का, और फॉरेक्स के ऊपर तो कर ही सकता हूँ बहुत, ठीक है। Portfolio management, Okay. So Messi. So Messi stands for guys. कोई कोई एक कोई अंदाजा किसी कोई भी एक ये करो. मनी मार्केट आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड. अभी कोई नौकरी वोकरी नहीं है फालतू का एक मतलब. आई एम नॉट इंटरेस्टेड एट ऑल मनी मार्केट. मेसी का कोई कोई एक कोई भी टेक अ रफ गेस व्हाट मेसी कैन बी. Daipan, mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive, right? Exhausted, nahi, exhaustive, Shashwati, right? So absolutely. So Daipan, you have written it correctly. So statistics जो भी पढ़ा है सबको पता है mutually exclusive, collectively exhaustive set of events. इसका सीधा सीधा मतलब क्या है? So when you are going for a consulting assignment, na, what you should the approach that and this was started by McKinsey, and ye McKinsey Mind Find books mein they have written exhaustively on that, and that is what they used to follow, that koi bhi situation mein kya ho sakta hai. And I think life में भी one should apply this कि क्या हो सकता है, या कोई भी चीज का तुम जब सोच रहे हो, हम लोग क्या हम लोग ना दिमाग में ही घुमाते रहते हैं, उसको लिखते नहीं है. राइट. सो द वे यू शुड गो अबाउट इट इज कि हर पॉइंट जो भी आ रहा है, जो मतलब तुमको लगे कि उसका सिग्निफिकेंस है नहीं है, वॉट एवर माइट बी द केस, सबको लिखो. यू आर गेटिंग व्हाट आई एम सेइंग. सो हाउ मतलब एक भी मतलब एक परसेंट भी उसका वैल्यू नहीं है, लेकिन तुमको अगर वो थॉट आया है कि सिर्फ एक ही परसेंट हो सकता है इसका इंपॉर्टेंस, वो भी लिखो, और जो तुमको 100% इंपॉर्टेंस लेवल पे लगता है उसको भी लिखो. ठीक है. सो राइट एवरीथिंग. एंड what it tries to say that it is always easy to cross out something rather than adding something. You're getting what I'm saying? तो सपोज कोई कुछ भी कारण के लिए तुमको जो भी है उसको अगर तुम एक ही सीक्वेंस में सब लिख लो, जितना तुम्हारा दिमाग में आ रहा है, वॉट एवर यू कैन पॉसिबली थिंक ऑफ, एंड देन यू डू अ प्रायोरिटाइजेशन सॉर्ट ऑफ अ थिंग कि कौन सा रहना चाहिए और कौन सा नहीं चाहिए. सो दैट इज अ कॉन्सेप्ट विच इज वाइडली यूज इन द कंसल्टिंग. कंसल्टिंग में कभी कोई कोई लॉजिक या मतलब कोई भी रीजन का ये नहीं किया जाता है. दे डोंट negate any thoughts which are coming up, right? They take everything into consideration and then they cross out ki it's a game of elimination rather than it's a game of addition. आज कोई भी कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्जाम्स में क्या होता है, ये देखा जाता है कि तुम मतलब कैसे एलिमिनेट करने में कितना माहिर हो. तुमको 4 ऑप्शन दिया जाता है. इट्स अ गेम ऑफ एलिमिनेशन, राइट, कि ये चारों में से कौन सा होगा. सो लेकिन अगर किसी को बोला जाए तो 4 पॉइंट लिख, वो शायद ना लिख पाए. You're getting what I'm trying to say. So क्योंकि कभी कभार जो चीज उतना सिग्निफिकेंट नहीं लगता है, बाद में तुम काम करने जाओगे ना, तब हो सकता है कि when you think at a second time or third time, or when you are discussing on that point with someone else, that person brings some perspective for which that thing which you earlier thought was not that critical becomes very critical. Right. So this term is मतलब ये it's a philosophy, I would say. Mutually exclusive collective, ये statistical ये में नहीं है, but so it मतलब ये जो points जो सोचोगे, obviously they would be different to each other, but then it has to be exclusive obviously, but collectively they have to the objective is to reach a certain objective of which you are trying to, for which you are doing the analysis. But then it is always easy to uh, eliminate something rather than adding on something. मैं समझा पाया क्या? ये थोड़ा मतलब confusing है, but please read this book. ये जो McKinsey Mind है, and नहीं सारी का ये सब तुम छोटे तुम अगर if that is getting to be a problem, if you're not getting in the biggest of brands, get into a tier 2 company ना. थोड़ी ना मतलब सबको बड़ा ब्रांड में इनफैक्ट प्रॉब्लम हो जाता है, तुमको काम छोटा करना पड़े. मिड साइज ये में बहुत कुछ करने को मिलेगा, तो वो सब मत सोचो. और वंस यू गेन एक्सपीरियंस ये सब, देन इट गोज इन. फिर तुम बोलोगे कि भाई तुम अगर 4 अच्छे अच्छे कंपनी के साथ काम किए हो, देन द डिस्कशन गेट्स इनटू तुम क्या सॉफ्ट ऑफ प्रोजेक्ट्स हैंडल किए हो, कैसे हैंडल किए हो, तब तुम्हारा क्या क्वालिफिकेशन है वो सब ये हो जाता है। ये क्वालिफिकेशन वाला चीज लाइफ के शुरू में ये होता है, इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, बट वंस यू गेन एक्सपीरियंस फिर कुछ इंपॉर्टेंस नहीं होता है ये सब। And, you shouldn't leave any thoughts untouched. Absolutely, Abhishek. Yeah. So हर चीज को इम्पोर्टेंस दो और फिर एक सबको लिख लो एक जगह पे, जो भी पॉइंट्स तुमको आ रहे हैं सब चीज लिख लो, फिर देन you go the second time in thinking which one is relevant and which one is not. So that is the philosophy of Messi. Just thought of introducing you to the term. थोड़ा इसके ऊपर गूगल में रिसर्च करो और you can McKinsey वाला books I would definitely suggest you to please read. It's a very good read. I would definitely suggest you to do that. Right, guys? So I hope the 2 hours was something which you have learned something and had been useful to you. Right? चलो guys, तो good night and let's see next वाला topic में क्या discuss करूं. Let's see. ट्रेड फाइनेंस, यू गाइस वुड बी इंटरेस्टेड? ट्रेड फाइनेंस को लेके एलसी, लेटर ऑफ क्रेडिट क्या होता है, टाइप्स ऑफ एलसीज, हाँ, क्योंकि वो मेरा आई थिंक स्लाइड्स एंड ऑल आर ऑलरेडी देयर, सो मुझे ज्यादा मेहनत नहीं होगा उसके पीछे, तो बट इट्स समथिंग एट इंटरनेशनल ये में कैसे ट्रांजैक्शन होता है, तो यू विल गेट टू लर्न अ लॉट. ठीक है, ओके गाइस, credit analysis I'll definitely discuss. I'll show you क्रेडिट एनालिसिस रिपोर्ट बैंक्स का कैसे होता है. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू वुड बी इंटरेस्टेड टू नो हाउ टू बिल्ड अ स्कोर कार्ड, एक प्रैक्टिकल स्कोर कार्ड, a go no go sort of a scorecard? You'd be interested to see कैसे एक स्कोर कार्ड बनाया जाता है, कैसे दिखता है वो चीज. ठीक है, so I'll try to show you scorecards also. बहुत कुछ ब्रांड वैल्यूएशन मैंने बोला था, ब्रांड को कैसे वैल्यू करे उसके ऊपर to do, right? So lot of things to learn, was lot of things to learn, and it's I would also be eager to teach you guys something which is may not be relevant to investment banking per se, but then suppose तुम किसी को credit दे रहे हो, right? So as a bank or as a institution you are extending credit, or say corporates also give a credit period to the say the suppliers and people like whom they are placing across the product. So how they do that analysis, ये जानना चाहिए, right? कि मतलब मैं कितने दिन के लिए इसको क्रेडिट दूं. How do you think a Hindustan lever decides on how for how long they should be extending credit, right? So I think that is something also you should learn. इसको बोलते हैं credit limit setting, right? So how you set credit limits, उसका कैसे मॉडल बिल्ड होता है. आई वुड लाइक टू शो यू रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग मॉडल्स, कि एक फाइनेंशियल रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग का मॉडल कैसा होता है, उसमें क्या रहता है. सो लॉट ऑफ थिंग्स. ठीक है, सो एवरीवन इन going to sleep now. So thanks guys, thanks for staying along, and see you next day. Bye guys, good night. And if any one of you is interested to join my, just for last minute मतलब इसको दे देता हूँ. If someone has come from any other source, मतलब who don't have access to the 24 steps to investment banking मेरा free program, just join over here, right? And if anyone wants to join my Telegram group so that you get notified when these programs are happening, you can join over here. If you want to join the Facebook group, this is the link, right? So just for your reference, जल्दी इसको click करके on कर दो, so that once I close it will be gone. Right guys? Thanks Nadesh, thanks Tanmaya. So, and if guys, if you face any challenge, if you have any thoughts, any questions, just drop a mail at arin@businessunplug.com. So here you can always reach me. Right? Bye guys, good night, thanks a lot.